Welcome, Cowboy fans. Let me say that again. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. What's going on, Spider-Man? Hey man, I got a show for us today. I put together quite a bit of material for us to talk about some of the things that are going on out there and just things in general. I have a pretty good agenda. Just want to kind of get your appetite ready for all you Cowboys fans out there. We're gonna first talk about Dak Prescott. We're gonna talk about the Dak Prescott injury. We're gonna look at the Dak Prescott interview, and then we're going to look at this issue about Dak saying we effing suck. We're going to look at that today. We're going to look at this issue about the Jerry Jones interview. Definitely. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to look at some of the Dallas Cowboy game plan that kind of messed us up in this game and kind of what was the turning point of really the football game, if you pay attention. And then, of course, we're going to look at Jerry's interview. We got to look at Jerry's interview because I'm going to show you something about Jerry's interview and how it plays into the whole thing going on with Ezekiel Elliott and shows us everything that is actually wrong, or what is a major part of what is wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. And then, of course, we're going to look at this issue about the Dallas Cowboys and the trades. What should they be doing tomorrow at the trade deadline? And then I want to look at the mythology of none other than Cooper Rush, because we know that Cooper Rush is going to be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, at least for now. Good evening, Angie. And I'm gonna tell y'all something about Dak Prescott. I'm going to tell you now about Dak Prescott. What up, no cap? I'm gonna tell y'all something about Dak Prescott. Do not let these people fool you about Dak Prescott. I am not going to be surprised. They're talking about Dak Prescott being out multiple weeks. I am not going to be surprised if Dak Prescott is under center around 3 to 4 weeks. I'm not going to be surprised. I'm telling y'all, Dak Prescott, contrary to what people think, a lot of people say, oh, he got the bag, now he's easing off. You crazy. Dak Prescott wants to be on that football field. And I promise you, Dak Prescott is praying. He is praying that this team goes out and do what they did. What was it? I don't even think it was last year. I think it was the year before. I believe that Dak is hoping this team do what they did in 2022. I believe he's hoping Cooper Rush go out there and win 1, 2, 3 games. What's going to happen? Cooper Rush going to be the starter? Quit it. If they go out there and win 2, 3 games, I will not be surprised that Dak Prescott is back out there no later than the 4th week. They win 2 or if they just win 2 of those games, I believe Dak Prescott is out there in the 4th week, because the schedule is going to get softer down the stretch. More divisional games, things of that nature. I think Dak Prescott's going to try to come back. But we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about that later on down the week, because I'm telling y'all, if y'all notice something about Dak Prescott, has been very quick to heal. He's come back from a lot of these injuries that people, the foot, that was supposed to be career injury. I mean, either career ending or longer. Not Dak. Broken thumb. Dak went on through, what was that, the broke thumb or the index finger, whatever the case may be. What did Dak Prescott do? Dak Prescott went and had state-of-the-art surgery, whatever you call it. Dak Prescott was back sooner than everyone expected. Dak Prescott, watch what I tell you. He's played with injuries before. Dak Prescott is going to try to get back to this team as fast as he can, because in the eyes of Dak Prescott, this is his team. This is his team. And Dak is going to prove to everyone that there is no quit in him. There is no quit in Dak Prescott. And I so appreciate that about Dak Prescott. And so let's kind of get into this thing. Let's kind of get into this thing about Dak Prescott, and it's going to lead us into it'll lead us into the things about the game. But they're saying that Dak Prescott is going to be gone for multiple weeks. And watch what I tell you. Multiple weeks is translating into, watch what I tell you. Multiple weeks is going to translate into depending upon how the Cowboys look. Watch what I tell you. Dak Prescott is going to try and get back sooner than later. Sooner than later. And so people need to understand, I'm telling you, Dak Prescott's going to show everybody what he's all about. He's going to show everybody what he's all about. And I'm telling you, he is going to try to get back extremely fast. I mean, he was already talking at the podium, and we're about to go to him at the podium. But Dak Prescott was even talking at the podium. I may be out there next week. Dak is going to do everything he can do. I guarantee you, Dak is going to seek out some specialist who can, someone, even if it's some alternative treatment, Dak Prescott is going to seek out someone who can help him get that hamstring back in shape sooner than later. Sooner than later. You watch what I tell you. You're going to hear this stuff coming out about Dak Prescott trying to get back on the field sooner than later. And if they mess around and win, one of these 3 games, 2 of these 4 games, the season is not over. Dak Prescott is going to be back. Dak Prescott is going to be back. No Cap says, tank for Ashton Genty, the black CMC. I think everybody got, but I've already been seeing people on X. Boy, they got this Ashton Genty dude on the brain, boy. They want the Cowboys getting bad. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's high on Jerry Jones' list either. Jared says fans may finally see now what life would be like without Dak Prescott and just how important he is to his team. His fans are idiots. They want him gone. I laugh at those same fans that want him gone because you know what? I want $10 billion. I want to wake up tomorrow and there be $1 billion in my account. Don't mean it's going to happen. We're not stuck with Dak Prescott. We chose Dak Prescott. Whether we accept it or not, Jerry Jones chose Dak Prescott. That's our quarterback this season and the next 4 years after. So there's no point. I don't understand. I said it this morning. I don't understand people who have a habit of complaining about things that they can't change. I understand stating your opinion at times, but you can't change it. You can't change the decision the Cowboys have made. So rather than trying to complain and get yourself upset while you're watching these games over the next few weeks, I'm going to enjoy these games. I'm interested to see what the Cowboys look like without Dak Prescott because I want to see what Mike McCarthy does with the game plan. Because I noticed the last time that Dak Prescott got hurt, Mike McCarthy dumbed down the game plan. He dumbed it down. I mean, extremely simple. Took out a lot of the pre-snap reads. Took out a lot of the complicated plays. I mean, he just really boiled it down to what is it that Cooper Rush can do? What can he do? And then give a strong dose of the running game. Y'all talking about, we're about to see what Cooper Rush is about. I would not be surprised. I think you're about to see what Rico Dowdle is about. Because I think that you're now going to watch Mike McCarthy begrudgingly, stubbornly turning to the run and running Rico Dowdle 20, 25, 30 times. Dalvin Cook 10, 15 times. You're going to see Mike McCarthy dumb this game down, and I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised if they are in some of these games. I will not be surprised, especially Micah Parsons. I just saw it on his Bleacher Report. I saw the headlines. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. So Micah Parsons is determined to come back. If they get D-Law back, they get Deron Bland back. Mike Zimmer, I don't care what anyone says. I'm fighting for Mike Zimmer. Folk can hate on Mike Zimmer all they want to. Boy, Mike Zimmer, I said it this morning, I'm going to say it again. Mike Zimmer has been doing more with less. Mike Zimmer, it's amazing to me. There's not a lot of talk going on with Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer's not doing a lot of complaining. Mike Zimmer's not doing a lot of what we don't have. Mike Zimmer is working with what he has, and he been putting in work with what he has. And I'm telling y'all, Mike Zimmer, you get him, these players back, they're going to look even better. They're going to look even better on defense. And while the Cowboys may lose, I don't think the game's going to get out of control. You know why? Because Mike McCarthy is going to stubbornly do what he should have been doing with Dak Prescott the last 3 weeks. Run the ball. Win time of possession. Keep their offense off the field. Keep your defense off the field. Keep their offense. You keep their offense off the field by you being on the field. You keep your defense off the field by being on the field. You run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And then you say, hey, 20 to 25 times. It's insane when you think about what Cooper Rush. There are people bragging about what Cooper Rush did in that game. Talking about, did you see what he did? Did you see what he did? Mike McCarthy had this man throwing the ball 25 times in less than a quarter and a half. They're not beating anyone like that. You know how you're going to beat them? Rico Dowdle, 25 times. Dalvin Cook, 15 times. And let's carefully plan out, how are we going to use Cooper Rush to throw the ball? If we can limit him to 20 times, it's fantastic. Because I'm telling you, he's not opening up the playbook for Cooper Rush. He's not going to open up the playbook. People need to understand, Cooper Rush is very limited. You don't believe me? Why is he still with the Dallas Cowboys? Do y'all know how many teams needed quarterbacks last year? Last year, when Cooper Rush, quote unquote, goes, I can't remember exactly what he went, but the mythology of him is 5-1 as a starter. That's the mythology. So if he's only got one loss as a starter, and his apologists, and he gonna go 9-1. Stop this. Stop this. But I can tell you how he can go close to that. Run the ball. I'm watching all of these national pundits now on the 3-letter, 4-letter networks, people on their podcasts. They're saying what I've been saying for weeks. And anyone who's been here know I've been saying it. Rico Dowdle, Rico Dowdle. No, y'all think this is the Cooper Rush show. This is about to be the Rico Dowdle show. Rico Dowdle is about to prove that he can be a number one, minimum number two back if you got a ferocious number one. But he can be a number one in a pinch. This is about to be the Rico Dowdle show. This is about to be the Rico Dowdle show. But we're going to get back on all of that. We're going to get back on all of that in a moment. But Dak Prescott, they're saying he's going to be gone for multiple weeks. They're saying he's going to be gone multiple weeks. And so what I want to do now is I want to go to the podium. Dak Prescott had some interesting things to say at the podium after that loss. And I really believe that Dak Prescott was more at a loss of words than anything. I mean, what do you say? I mean, you've literally, it looks like you're literally gone for the season. But I don't believe Dak is gone for the season. I think Dak has in his mind that he is going to come back. There's no quitting this man. Y'all think because this man got $60 million next year, y'all think this man wants to not play? I'm telling you, man, the more I listen to some people talk, I was telling my sons the other day, we're talking, I just tell people in a minute, you couldn't be on my team. I'm sorry, you just couldn't be on my team. I don't want to play with anybody who say, I got paid, so nothing else matters. It's great. You got paid. I'm pretty sure it makes you feel comfortable when you go home. Well, at least I can still do stuff, big crib, family, blah, blah, blah. But it eats at you. If you're a true dog, boy, it eats at you when you can't play when you don't win, when there are circumstances you cannot control. It bothers you. We got a French bulldog a few weeks ago. I'm telling you, these are some of the most emotional dogs I've ever seen. But she loves to go outside in the backyard for whatever reason. And the tree behind the pool, these squirrels are always going up and down the tree. The dog, her name is Luna. Every single day, you know what she wants to do? One, she wants to go outside to use the bathroom. And soon as she's done using the bathroom, you know what she does? She will literally spend an hour trying to climb the tree to get at those squirrels. Well, what would he expect? She's a dog. I mean, I don't know what she's going to do if those squirrels ever confront her, but she goes out there every day determined to get those squirrels. And when she's in the house and we'll open up the windows in the living room, guess what she does? She looks out the window at that tree where the squirrels are, and she's barking. And if she sees them, she's running around in a circle, jumping up and down. Why? She wants to get outside to get those squirrels. It's the dog in her. I mean, she's a dog. And if anyone thinks that Dak Prescott wants to sit this season out, you're sadly mistaken. Dak Prescott, I promise y'all, he wants them to go out and win some games. And all the fans are talking about tank. The players are not in on this plan. This is Jerry's plan. I don't even think all the coaches are in on this plan. I think some of the coaches can see this plan, but I don't think the coaches are in on this plan. I think the coaches want to win because we're on 1-year contracts. I mean, why would we want to go 3-14? Why would we want to go 0-17? I mean, why would we even want to lose? I mean, because there's life after the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, we want to go get a job. What are we going to tell the next place we go to get a job? What happened in Dallas? Well, Jerry had a play in the tank, and so we helped him out. What? Nobody wants a coach who participates in the implosion of a team. So they want to win. These players, they know, might not be on this team. They would like for Mike McCarthy to put him in the right position. I think Mike Zimmer is putting some of these defensive players in the right position. That there's probably some people looking at tape on them going, if the Cowboys let these guys go right here, we're going to scoop them up. I'm telling us, I don't think this team, while they're looking at their owner / GM with all his antics, they don't want to lose. They're going to keep trying. And if Mike McCarthy comes out here with a game plan, which I think he is, who knows? Maybe they can steal a couple of these games. And then Dak Prescott surprises everybody. He's back by week 4. And then some of the things that they did stubbornly with Cooper Rush, they can do some of those things, the same things with Dak Prescott, the same way they did a couple of years ago. And before you know it, we're in the wild card race again. So many things can happen. You know, people don't understand so many things can happen. That's why you got to keep playing this game. You have to keep playing this game. Spider-Man says, with Rush playing, we may finally see the Trey Lance package. I can tell you this. We lose 2 of these games, you're going to see the entire Trey Lance package because that's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to see. Why do people underrate Dak Prescott so much? An argument can be made that he's elite. I'll make that argument all the time. But they'll never forgive Dak Prescott for exceeding their expectations, that all he was going to be was a career backup. He's a 4th-round draft pick. Now they're saying he should have been number 2, bottom of the 1st. A lot of the pundits. He exceeded all of their expectations. So I got to dog him every chance we get. We got to dog him every chance we get. Not to mention some of these people. What's up, Sports Junkie? These people, they'll never forgive him for taking Tony Romo's place. They'll never forgive him because Tony Romo was supposed to win that Super Bowl that year, and he didn't get a chance. It's not because of Dak Prescott. It's because he got hurt. And then number 2, Dak balled out. So it is what it is. Jerry is running the organization like a crackhead who needs a fix. I tell you this, he's got an opportunity here, and we're going to keep talking about it. There's an opportunity here. Jerry can redeem himself, and it's not going to be this year, but he can redeem himself if he pulls off what he's supposed to be pulling off. This rebuild, if he pulls this off, some people are going to have to apologize to Jerry Jones. Spider-Man says with 100% CD, that pass from Rush to CD is a touchdown. I'm gonna give it to Cooper Rush. That was a pass, man. That was a nice pass. Rush dropped a dime, but you cannot build a championship team with him. He's too limited. What y'all saw again with Cooper Rush is the worst and the best of Cooper Rush. He can drop some dimes, arm very weak. He can do some things, and not necessarily the most mobile guy. He can do some things, but when you turn up the heat, Cooper Rush he's just not good enough. And the reason why I'm saying he's not good enough, it's not hate on Cooper Rush. Do we not understand if Cooper Rush was better, he would not be with the Dallas Cowboys? Nobody lets a good quarterback back up Dak Prescott this long, making what he's making. Nobody does it. Cooper Rush would be on the field if he was that good. I don't understand why we can't see the logic in this. How can Cooper Rush be that good and be a back? I can't keep explaining this. What's going on, Greg? Good evening, sir. Always dark is before the dawn. The Cowboys can win Sunday. This is a division game. Mike Zimmer's going to have the defense dialed in. I'm telling y'all, I am giving Mike Zimmer all the credit in the world, and you're going to see I'm going to do it later. I'm telling you, Mike Zimmer, they can say what they want to say. Mike Zimmer has been killing it. What's going on, Confident Cowboys fan? 70 said the Joneses, Jerry didn't like the fact that Dak held all the cards. Jerry ego too big. Guess what? He's still holding all the cards. He's going to be here for the next 4 years. He's a backup. That's all. Yes, Cooper Rush. That's all. I hate to tell people this. I mean, it's like you almost have to talk bad about a player to make people to understand you're not understanding what's being said. There is not a team in this league that would let a number one quarterback sit behind a starting quarterback making $1 million or whatever dollars a year that Cooper Rush is making. They're not going to do it. They let Cooper Rush hit the open market. Nobody wanted him. Why would no one want a number one quarterback? Make it make sense. It's craziness. But let's go to Dak at the podium. I want you to hear how Dak is sounding at the podium, kind of what his demeanor was if you hadn't seen it. Dak Prescott, by all indications, I'm telling you, this man is going to defy rules and logic again as it pertains to a body healing. Dak Prescott's going to be back on that field. Let's listen.
Got to get it looked at. Felt it, I guess the third play that I was in there on the little scramble to the left. Felt it, didn't think much of it, to be honest with you. And then the next play, throwing that the stop route to the field, pulled something. I guess felt a pull or felt something I've never felt. Tough to walk on it at that point. Saw the medical team and asked, could I make it worse? At that point, they said I wouldn't be able to protect myself, and they made the call to hold me out.
How difficult was that? Just
very.
You guys are trying to rally.
Very difficult. I guess that's, in my sense of just asking, can I make it worse if I can't? Know how much we needed this one. I wanted to just get out there and compete, get out there and fight. Crazy.
So I'll say that. So initially you heard it on the run, and then you felt it on the
run. I felt it when I was getting up from the run. I can't even say that, I felt it running, maybe the tackle, maybe something on the tackle. I don't know, but when I was standing up from that, I felt something, but actually, didn't think it was much. You get tackled, it's a physical game. A lot of times you feel different things, and, they kind of go away. And as I said, when I got to the top of my drop to throw the ball to Jalen Brooks to the right side, I felt something I've never felt, and, it was tough to walk on it at that point.
What's the motive of the team?
One more time.
What's the mood of the team right
I mean, obviously frustrated. Obviously, I feel like I said that last week, disappointed. Felt like we could get this one. Felt like this was a great one set up for us. Yeah, and didn't get it done. For me to experience this, have this, add to the injury, CD getting banged up a little bit during the game, tough.
And Dak, when you say it's something you've not felt before, when you've not had an injury, you know what you can and can't play through. Is there something that you're going to have to see during the week to know how long this could last for you?
I mean, it's hard for me to say. I mean, I would say that I'll be out there next week. Once again, I've got to see. Luckily, you know, I can say I've healed fast. I progressed fast on injuries and things, so I'm thankful for that. Got to get a picture of it. When we get a picture of it, I guess we'll see how bad it is, and it'll take a lot for me to not be out there. I'll tell you personally.
John Michaud with The Athletic. You know, you talked about on Thursday being a must-win game for you guys, and then you talked about the injuries of you and CD, 5 losses. Just what gives you confidence that you guys can get this back on track?
Yeah, obviously, as I said, for me to be able to heal fast, as I said, I think CD was just banged up. Nothing serious there. Other guys getting back, being healthy, and some games that are all in front of us. A lot of division games start next week, right? Our second one of the year. That sometimes this league, it just takes one. It takes one to get it going, to get that confidence back, to feel good, and rally from there. So not looking too far ahead. It's about getting our bodies back and healthy tomorrow, and then trying everything in our power to put our best performance next week at home against a good Philly team.
Nick Harris, former Star-Telegram jury, had mentioned that maybe a move or two could be made before Tuesday's trade deadline. Do you feel like a move or two could help get this team in the right direction towards performing your best, as you say?
I mean, obviously with the injuries, I think some things could help for sure. Where that is, leave it up to those decision makers. Obviously, if and when they, get my opinion on it, I'll give that. But in the same sense, the guys, whether it's one guy, how many other guys it is, the foundation of the team is the guys in the locker room, and so we've got to do better, play better, and prepare to go out there and be our best.
And then obviously before the
Now, I want you to pay attention to some of these things that Dak Prescott is saying. One, Dak is already giving you what you need to be watching for. Dak Prescott is going to try to come back, and he's going to try to come back fast. And I guarantee you right now, as we speak, Dak Prescott is already getting this leg worked on. And if he's not getting it worked on, Dak is looking for who is the best in the world that could possibly help me get this leg back together quick. Who can help me do it? Because CeeDee Lamb. See, we got to realize the Cowboys have actually went through most of the meat of their schedule. I mean, the real hard part, the teeth of that thing. See, now they're about to get into the divisional games. And you may say, well, the divisional games are going to be hard because the Redskins are better. Are they? Do y'all know when you play divisional games, there's a reason why that people will throw those records out the window? Because you play divisional games different. The Philadelphia Eagles, people don't understand. Philly isn't all put together either. I think Mike Zimmer's going to have something for them. So this could be a game. Who knows? Maybe they can sneak in and win it. I think Kellen Moore is going to bring out everything in the kitchen sink on them. But I also think that Mike Zimmer is going to be up for the challenge on Kellen Moore. And so we're going to see how that goes. But I also think, and we're going to talk about this later on in the week, but I'm just telling you, watch what I tell you how the game plan changes. Mike's done this same dumbness before. He dumbs it all the way down for Kellen Moore because he knows Kellen Moore's limitations. See, the problem with Dak Prescott, y'all got to understand, Dak Prescott can do so much that Mike McCarthy wants to open it up for Dak Prescott, not understanding, but he doesn't have the game plan for the other players around Dak Prescott. So he wants Dak Prescott to do it all. Mike isn't scheming good enough for the rest of the players. See, when you got someone like, you got someone who can do a lot. You ever notice what you'll do? Well, you just put it all on them. If you got a group of people and there's one who you can count on, you ever notice how many things you'll put on them? And why are you putting everything on me? Well, I can't trust so-and-so. Oh, and I can't trust so-and-so. And I can't. This is what we do naturally. So, Dak Prescott, Mike opens up the playbook because he knows that Dak can do it. With Cooper Rush, he closes the playbook. And he has to be real meticulous on what he gives Cooper Rush. And so, I'm telling you, I'm not going to be surprised if they were to win one or two of these games. And if they can win one or two of these games, in the meanwhile, Dak Prescott is going to hurriedly be trying to get back. But Dak, listen to what he's saying. One, I'm going to hear him try to get back. Two, Dak knows what's going on. Come on, man. Getting somebody in free agency. Dak Prescott is telling y'all everything you need to know. Everything we need is already in the locker room. Translation, everything we're going to have for the rest of the year is already in the locker room because Jerry isn't going to go get nobody. Jerry is gearing up for 2025 and 2026, and everybody just needs to accept it. That's what Jerry is doing. Dak knows that's what Jerry is doing. He doesn't like what Jerry is doing because it's putting him in a very bad situation when he wants to win so bad. I mean, you literally have to be deaf, dumb, and blind not to see what Jerry Jones is doing. How in the world does Jerry Jones still say he has confidence in Mike McCarthy and everything Mike McCarthy is not doing? All of his coaches on one-year deals, but he's fully confident in them. Well, why don't they have contracts? Stop it. We're all seeing this. We'd have to be deaf, dumb, and blind. And so Dak still wants to win. And you can hear it. You can see it in his voice. And I'm telling you, Dak's going to try to come back. And notice, so now he's talking about preparation. We're going to get into that. Listen.
Injury, it felt like you were able to find a rhythm on your feet. But was there anything specific about this game or an intention you took into the game? Felt scramble a little bit more. How did that come about?
I think a little bit of intention, but then also understanding that as mentioned, these guys were going to be soft in the coverage, which also gave us light boxes. If it wasn't there, whether it's getting it down to my check downs or using my feet to go get five, something that felt good. Was able to get the long scramble early on in the game. And it's just crazy that this happened on a normal tackle, I guess you can say that. Then I guess the drop back, not even sure exactly which moment did it. Tough.
Dak, as a leader on a team and good friends with Zeke, just how difficult these last 48 hours or so have been, and how do you hope this is resolved for him and the team going forward in the next few days?
Definitely a difficult situation. Me personally, being as close as I am with them, wanting to help, and I think this, if anything, this it'll be good. And I say that as obviously it was a mutual decision for him to not take this trip. Whether it's as he had said, just getting himself together, and I'd like to just see us rally around him, be the teammates and the brothers that we are, and good will come from it.
Y'all are going to call me a prophet before it's over. Anybody who's been listening to me for the last 2 weeks, this thing with Zeke stinks. And all of this stuff with Rico Dowdle, you can tell me anything you want to. This thing with Zeke stinks. I'm going to get on Zeke in a moment. But do you hear what he said about Zeke and I'm going to circle back to these very issues that he mentioned. Tell me this is not crazy what he just said about Zeke. What do you mean? What you wanted to help? Help do what? What could Dak help Zeke with? Can he help him run the ball? I don't think he's talking about running the ball. Could he help him in the passing game? I don't think he's talking about helping him in the passing game. Or could it be there is something going on with Ezekiel Elliott's attitude and Clarence Hill? I don't think he was trying to cover for Zeke as in he knew something and was trying to hide it. Clarence Hill said, and I remember he clearly said, Zeke wasn't trying to be a distraction on the team. Watch this. That's exactly what he was being. Zeke was up in here causing all kinds of problems. Why else would that? I wanted to help. Help what? I guarantee you. Mediate. Work out something to where maybe they could use him, but mediate. What is he talking about? Zeke is going to be better. We're talking about Zeke like now he's been, someone's admitted him into a mental institution. This isn't a playing issue per se. This is about the fact that they have been warring behind the scenes. They've been warring behind the scenes. What do you mean? Rally around him? What? What are we rallying around Zeke for? They're talking like Zeke has some kind of mental problem. Why would they be saying that? The last time I checked, y'all, is Zeke injured? I don't know. Does anybody know? Is Zeke going through something in his personal life? Anybody know? Because as far as Zeke's personal life, I haven't heard anything that Ezekiel Elliott is going through. What are we talking about here? You notice how Dak is acting? That's Dak's friend. You ever notice something that when you're friends with someone and they're into it with someone else who you're either friends with or someone who's your boss or someone who's important in your life, and so you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Okay, this is your friend. This is your boss, your brother, your sister, someone else, but your friend is actually wrong in what's going on in the situation. So if you try to tell your friend, cool out, it may mess up the relationship, but that shouldn't. Because if you rebuke a friend, then of course you've gained a friend. Your friend should be able to take constructive criticism from you. So what's going on? See, but when you got a friend and your friend is wrong, so what do you typically choose to do? Man, I got to stay out of it. I'm gonna let y'all handle it because you know that the person here, especially in a job situation, well, you're gonna let the chips fall where they may. You know your friend is wrong, so you're gonna let whatever comes down come down. We're talking about Zeke like it's a mental issue. What are we talking about? Because you can't help Zeke if Rico is better. How do you help Zeke if Rico is better? Oh, I know how you can help him. You got to help him be at peace with the decision that's being made. That's what you got to help him with. Oh, it was mutual that Zeke decided not to make the trip. Can I help y'all what mutual mean? Zeke was going to be a healthy scratch for the first time in his career. He was not going to suit up. He was not going to play. So what's the mutuality going on? Either way, he's not going to play. This is crazy. This is crazy. And this is playing into some of this nonsense on this team. Now watch this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to get down the road in the show. I'm going to show you where this is all going to make sense. and why this is a part of the chaos that has been going on with this team and a part of the chaos that has been going on between Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy. I'm going to show you. Let's finish this. Hold on a second.
You guys had a false starts, delay of game, too many men in the huddle. With these issues pre-snap, what do you attribute the discipline issues to right now?
I can't put my finger on it, to be honest with you, and that's one of the most frustrating things about it.
Dak Prescott. I'm not about to let you get away with that, Dak Prescott. I'm like Terrell Owens. That's my quarterback. I'm not letting Dak Prescott get away with that one. Y'all heard what he asked him? He asked him about them penalties. We're going to get into those in just a moment. All of these mental lapses, these penalties. What's going on, Dak Prescott? I can't put my finger on it. I can't either because I'm sitting in my house. But if me and Mike McCarthy was in the same room, I could put my finger on it. Dak Prescott, don't you do this. I know what you're doing. Dak been doing this all year. I'm going to tell y'all something about Dak Prescott. I did a video on my channel. You can check it out. Dak Prescott is frustrated is what we're watching. We're watching the frustration of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is caught in a rock and a hard place. Y'all know why? He likes his coach, but he hates his coaching. Dak don't like I bet you Dak Prescott is wondering what's going on. These ain't the same plays we called last year. This isn't the same offense we ran last year. This isn't the Texas Coast we discussed. This is literally the West Coast offense from 30 years ago. I'm telling you. Oh, he can put his finger on it. He just can't put his finger on it in that room because Mike McCarthy not next to him. He not lying, but he being a little bit deceptive. I'm telling y'all, this is one of the issues with Mike McCarthy. This is a Mike McCarthy issue, and Dak Prescott's been talking about it all year long. He's been talking about it. Walkthroughs. Y'all didn't find it strange? They were talking about walkthroughs again. First it was practice. But now Mike McCarthy is talking. The walkthroughs wasn't good. The walkthroughs wasn't. How do the walkthroughs not be good, y'all? How does the walkthroughs not be good? Wait a minute. Can I help us? Can I give us a visual picture? We're walking through the plays. We're not even going full speed. We're walking through the plays. Okay, this is where you need to be right here. This is where you need to be right here. This is where you go on this play. This is where you go on this play. We're going to walk through the entire game plan so nobody is surprised. We're going to walk through all the plays so you can get the mental reps in your head. How do you mess those up? What? This is ludicrous. This is ludicrous. Yeah, Dak, you got an answer. You're not going to give the right answer because you want to save face for your coach, but you actually been condemning him all year. We got to practice better. Practice harder. You want to know why you're having these mental lapses? Because Mike McCarthy has a problem getting his team mentally prepared and keeping his team focused. And I'm not going to put that all on Mike McCarthy because I said it this morning, I'm going to say it again. And Mike McCarthy has not lost the locker room. Jerry Jones has. Let's listen.
Is whether it's guys taking turns, whether it's us all not being on the same page, whether it's the cadence, the substitutions you said coming from the sideline, some very frustrating detail matters and key part of the games that when you do that, you're not going to win.
Y'all help me out. Whose responsibility is detail? Whose responsibility is detail? That's a coaching issue. That's a coaching issue. That's why I keep telling y'all. See, for me, I understand we got these new hotshot coaches and they want to wear two hats. That's cool because some of them can do it, especially the Andy Reids who have been in this thing for so long. But I'll be honest with you. I think the Dallas Cowboys, they don't need a coach that's wearing two hats. They need a coach that's going to be able to handle these details. They need a coach that can be between them and Jerry Jones. They need that coach, and they haven't had that coach. They keep getting the coaches that fit Jerry Jones, but what Jerry Jones is going to have to bite his tongue and do is get the coach that fits the player and the coach that fits football. You got to let these guys coach. And I think this is too much for Mike to call plays and to do what this team needs to do, to have done. It's a lack of focus. And they got so many things going on around them. They can't focus. We may not realize it, but the Cowboys, they lost this game in exactly what's being asked. The details. The penalties is what cost the Cowboys this game. The penalties, the lack of focus, boneheaded plays, a lack of patience. Not taking advantage of the weaknesses of another team. Who's that on? It's the player's job to execute the game plan. But it's the coach's job to prepare them mentally. I'm telling you, Dak is telling us so many things in these answers. And he's trying to choose his words very carefully. But there's no denying it. And these reporters, that's why they're asking these questions. They're seeing what we're seeing. Y'all got some preparation problems. Whose problem is that? How do you fix that, Dak? We know how you fix it. And it ain't Dak Prescott. It's not Dak Prescott. There are some things out of Dak Prescott's control that are happening, and people are going to have to accept it for what it is. There's some individual issues going on, but there are some top-down issues that are plaguing this team. And I'm going to show you, just based on everything that Dak has said, because we're going to get right into this game plan, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what's being said here. Just listen.
You're not going to win, especially not in this league against a good team. You're not going to win. So you just go back and look at those, with the timing of those penalties when they were, and not surprised that this is the outcome of the game.
You're not surprised, Dak? Did anybody see the look on Dak's face when they were committing those penalties? Anybody see the look on Dak's face? I don't remember the Atlanta's crowd being in particularly loud. I mean, I don't recall that. I don't recall deafening sound to where the announcers were saying the sound is deafening and they can't get the signals in. And the Cowboys that went to hand signals. I don't remember it. I don't remember it. But what I do remember is total mental lapses at key moments and key places in the game. I'm noticing it. You hear what Dak Prescott said? There's no way you can win games like that. There's no way. There's just no way you can win games like that, period. I don't care who you are. Penalties are a huge part of the game. But we're going to get into those. But I just want you to keep hearing and hearing what Dak Prescott is saying.
I know you still need to figure out, testing under him and stuff, but how important would it be for you to practice this week if you are to play? And if you aren't able to practice, what are maybe some of the things you can do to still get ready?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this game is mental in that standpoint, so I'll be able to get those reps. When you play this position, quarterback position, every rep's your rep, whether you're in there or not. You saw with Coop going in there and obviously giving us a chance, and a guy that understands that exactly. So I know what it means to be able to watch practice if I can't participate, get the reps that I need to, the film work, all the stuff that I normally do, and then some. But it'd be important. It'd be important, one, just obviously to test the hamstring. As I said, I look forward to doing everything that I can in my power to heal this thing up, get a couple of reps and some reps in at practice, and then get out there next week.
All righty. Thank you, Doc.
This is a chat.
Dak will be back. Watch what I tell you. Dak will be back. My son, as a matter of fact, when my son got his hamstring injury, couldn't keep him off the field. He sat out a week, thinking maybe a week, maybe two. Started going to get massages. Started drinking a lot of fluids. Start putting some heat on that leg. Wrapped it up. And before you know it, third week he was playing. And he was a cornerback. So what they did while he was dealing with the hamstring, they switched him to safety, so that he didn't have to do so much cutting and so much cutting and stops and all of those things. They put him in a position to where he could just survey the field. And he was coming down laying wood on folk. He was coming down laying wood on folk at safety. Dak Prescott, you give him a couple of weeks, he's going to get some intense treatment. I am not going to be surprised. Third, fourth week, guess what? Dak Prescott is going to be back. And what they'll probably do, they'll just line him up in the shotgun. Quick throws. Don't take a lot, quick throws. And if you get something deep, get it. Don't run. Watch what I tell you. I'm not going to be shocked if Dak Prescott is playing again. Andre Mosley says 2 weeks. I'm going to give him 3 tops. Dak Prescott's going to be back out there. Let me get to a couple of questions, and I'm going to go. I want to go to on the agenda. I actually have the whole issue about Dak said sucks. But I'm actually going to first, I want to go into some of the mistakes we made in the game, and then I will go to what Dak said so it'll make more sense rather than saying what. Well, we can look at it real quick, but hold on a second. Let me run through this. Robert says Rush is going to get some playtime and maybe someone will want him. Who? Who wants a 31-year-old backup? I'm sorry, Robert. I know I'm not hating on Cooper Rush. Who in their right mind wants a 30-year-old backup? Why? What I want him for? He couldn't even beat out the quarterback he's been behind for years. No one wanted him when he tested free agency. Nobody wants a backup. Nobody wants a 31-year-old backup unless they want a 31-year-old backup. And what a lot of teams are doing, they're getting smart. They're going out there and they're getting young quarterbacks to be their backups, just in case those young quarterbacks can turn out to be good. Spider-Man, you asked a good question. You mentioned this on X. Y'all follow me on X over there. Let's talk Cowboys. Spider-Man says, I'm confused. And this is what he mentioned on X. He said, we beat Atlanta in rushing, passing, time of possession, and turnovers. How did we lose? I'm about to show you exactly how we lost. I'm going to show you exactly how we lost that game. Spider-Man, the game turned on a fake punt. I'm going to show you exactly, 70s fan. Yep, that's a part of it. A huge part of it. I'm going to show you exactly how we lost that game. Come to Cowboys fans said, man, we got to get right with Jesus. This team. Man, this team does have a lot of injuries, man. They get tore up with these injury bugs. And you know what? I think this O-line coach everybody's talking about need to be fired. I think the Cowboys strength and conditioning coach needs to be looked at too. I mean, their strength and conditioning coach needs to be looked at. I mean, the amount of injuries they're suffering this year is crazy. Keith said, what's going on, Keith? They said they're going to see how life was when Dak tried to put his ankle back together when he broke it a couple of years ago. It's sad that Dak is the most hated quarterback in the NFL. It needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. Hoping Jerry shut him down for at least 4 games so he can heal properly. I think they're going to probably try to do that. But it all depends. You heard what Dak said. He's already foreshadowing. It's all going to depend on how he's feeling week to week. You know what'll make him feel a whole lot better? Win some games. Let him mess around and win 2 games. Dak could be right back out there by week 4 at the latest. Epsom salt junkie. Yep, we did that too. Rudolph said, Rush is not that good, so stop it, okay? I'm sorry, the Cooper Rush mythology is insane. And I'm going to tell y'all something. That defense, when you look at that run Cooper Rush made, check out what that defense did. Just check out what that defense did. That defense was lights out, turning the ball over and scoring. Can anybody remember the last time we scored on defense? Can anybody answer? Is the Dallas Cowboys or the Dallas Cowboys defense, is the Dallas Cowboys defense lights out? Y'all tell me. Because I'm telling y'all, that defense, we do not have a lights out defense any longer. We do not have a lights out defense. So, you know, these people with the Cooper Rush mythology, you just got to stop this. This just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me, man. The way people keep talking about this dude. Because I still say the proof is in the pudding. If he was that good, there is no way this man would be a backup. There's just no way. Last year was the year of the backup. Everybody was looking for a quarterback. And Cooper Rush is still with the Dallas Cowboys. We just got to stop this. It just makes no sense. The hate on Dak Prescott, whether it be direct or indirect. Rush may just hand off instead of throwing. We're about to see the Rico Dowdle show. We're about to see what I've been saying they should have been doing for Rico Dowdle the whole season. Even with Dak Prescott. Give this man the ball. Feed him 25 times. It doesn't make sense. Free entertainment, so hit the like button. Amen. Confidence says Rush is going to hand off and throw it when he needs to throw. Watch. I'm telling y'all, Mike McCarthy is going to dumb down this playbook on a level that all he's going to do is what Cooper Rush can do. That's it. Cooper Rush is different. Dak is what you take out when you want to open up the playbook. When you take out Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush is what you get when you say, close the playbook. Make it very, very dumbed down. Dumb it down to where all we highlight is what he can do well and we hide what he doesn't do well. But watch what I tell you. Teams are going to expose him. They're going to expose him. If Mike don't run this ball continuously, they're going to expose him because the way to win with Cooper Rush is the same way they won with him when Dan Quinn was here. Get a lead. That's number one. And the Cowboys haven't had many leads this season. Get a lead. Defense stingy. Cooper Rush. Field goals if you get them. Cooper Rush, 3 or 4 big throws a game. Ball game. We out of here. Defense not the same, y'all. The defense is not the same. And that's even affecting Dak Prescott. The defense is not the game. Rudolph said he don't like he said he don't like Cooper Rush. Robert said, I don't like Jerry. Dak may go to injury reserve. Watch this. Dak's not going to go to injury reserve. You remember when he broke the finger? He would not do it. Because you got to remember something. If you go on injury reserve, you cannot travel with the team. You have to be separated from the team. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Tony Romo was older than Dak Prescott. But Tony Romo, in hindsight, he could have learned something from Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott refused to go on injury reserve. Dak don't want to be separated from the team. Dak don't want anyone else to get that connection with the team, to be looked at as the leader of the team. Dak was the leader of the team while Cooper Rush was quarterbacking. Dak was still involved in the play calling, involved in the plays, involved in the meetings, still being vocal, still being in practice, still traveling with the team. Dak too smart. Dak will not let them put him on injury reserve. That was the number one mistake Tony Romo made. was going on injured reserve. He couldn't be around the team. He had to rehab separately from the team. There was no direct contact with the team. Practice, traveling with the team, none of that. Nope. Dak too smart. Dak too smart. He'll fight him tooth and nail. He's $60 million man now. Ain't no way. $231 million man. He ain't letting him do it. Nope, no concern. Dak can't run. Nope, you don't need a running quarterback to win Super Bowls. You don't need a running quarterback to win playoffs. Actually, to me, the mistake that Dak Prescott made, having not been running the ball all season long, Dak should not have actually been running in that game to me. And I'm going to show you why he shouldn't have been running according to what he's talking about. They thought they could win this one. I'm going to show you why he thought they could win it. Dak will be back Thanksgiving game. Perfect return. I agree. I won't be shocked if he does. But if Cooper Rush wins games, he'll be back after Thanksgiving. Won't surprise me either. That gives him more time to heal, but it also gives him more time to say we're going to make a run. I really hate this crap is happening to go to scapegoat for this idiot owner. Yep, me too. But y'all remember, even Jerry said he didn't want him running. Jerry said that too. He didn't want him running. Dak, you got to understand something. If you're going to run the ball, then you need to be practicing running the ball. You got to make sure that you are extremely loose. You got to be a person who has been running the ball or you've been practicing running. You don't want to know why Lamar Jackson, he's always ready to run because he practices running. I mean, you have to. But if you're sitting there and you're a guy who don't run, and all of a sudden, think about what happened. Dak Prescott switched back to 2023 Dak Prescott in week 9 against the Atlanta Falcons after only having 24 yards rushing the first 8 weeks. And then all of a sudden, here comes Dak Prescott running these long runs. Stop it. People got to understand, man, it's a difference in you just standing back there, scooting around the pocket, a couple of scrambles out to the right or the left, throwing the football, than it is literally running the ball full speed. I mean, Dak looked pretty good running, but he hadn't been running. And that's what happens a lot of times with these hamstrings. So that's why you got to stay loose. You got to stay warmed up. You got to stay hydrated. I mean, and you got to keep on doing it. What's going on, Danny? The 70s fans said there's more to Zeke thing than we're hearing. I'm about to let you in on some stuff that I heard today from some other people like Brian Broadus. What comes to mind when Zeke being late and missing meetings smacks of off-field issues? Everything that Dak Prescott is saying is off. What do you mean we're going to help him out, rally around? What? I got some more to say about that in a moment. Jerry brainwashed Zeke Elliott. Man, it makes me think Zeke brainwashed Jerry because Jerry loves Zeke. Yep, Zeke was going to be a healthy scratch. It's a disease. Can't play, no moritis. Yep, but I'm telling you, these guys are still wanting to play, and I know Dak is. Yep, Zeke will be okay. And I got something to say about that in a moment. Power struggle for sure. Yep. I'm telling us, Robert Burton says, preach. I'm telling us. Facts, G. Thank you. Appreciate it. Watch this. I'm gonna get us up to speed here, and then I'm gonna hit back on this, show you something that happened in the game, and I can tell you what Dak is talking about. You hit it on the head. He likes the coach and hates the coaching. Boy, that's a conundrum right there, man. That's a conundrum. Man, this man done took you to his crib. I mean, he done took you to his home. Man, his family. Now you got to tell him, but your coaching sucks. Tough. Mike McCarthy has been saying that we have to cut down on the penalties for 5 years. He's not doing anything about it. 70s fan. Watch this. Mike McCarthy has been in the mid to late 20s in most penalized teams since he's been here. This man hasn't even cracked the top 20. That's crazy. That is crazy. Self-sabotage at its finest. Jerry know what he's doing, y'all. I'm telling you. Mike McCarthy and Jerry, both of them are Satan's cousin. James Hill says that 70s bad. Yep. I'm telling us, Gene says, so is this what Aaron Rodgers was talking about before? You better recognize. Aaron Rodgers was saying it, man. Aaron Rodgers went to a Super Bowl with this man and was ready for him to get out of there. Aaron was basically saying, man, this dude is too stale. He's too stale. He's too stubborn. He's too stale. Mike McCarthy, what he did in Green Bay is he is doing the same thing in Dallas. Yep. We are seeing a replay. And Mike is very stubborn. Mike refuses to go back to the playbook of the Texas coast. Y'all heard him in the press conference. Now he's talking about the West Coast. Doesn't make sense. Coaches coach and players play. Yep, no discipline. That's one of Mike's problem. Too nice of a guy. I'm telling us, Mike McCarthy is not a motivated man. He's not. He's not a motivator of men, and that's a problem. Atlanta Falcons didn't play that great to me. What? Atlanta was subpar at best. Man, I'm going to show you some stuff about Atlanta that is mind-blowing. The Cowboys made the Atlanta Falcons look like world beaters. The Atlanta Falcons in reality has been struggling with a lot of things that they did right in the Cowboys game. Is that them getting it together, or is that showing us that the Cowboys were really that inept? Because I think it's the second one. I think it's the second one. I saw the look on Dak's face. He always does that whenever they lose because they can't play football, unfortunately. Woo, man. Boy, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, Jerry's imploding the team. See, that's the thing that people don't understand. People keep talking about he's blowing it up. No, he's not. He's not blowing it up. Listen to him. He's imploding it in. He's making it collapse on itself. No free agency. Check. No trades. Check. Didn't replace the depth that left. Check. 1-year contracts. Check. Screwed up the salary cap, blaming the salary cap for the reason why he can't sign players. And anybody who's watching these other teams manage their salary cap is saying, no, Jerry, you're mismanaging it. And the people who hate Dak Prescott are saying it's Dak Prescott's why they can't manage it. No, Jerry's imploding the team. He's imploding it. They all mad with Dak because he carrying himself in the best of order. Even Diggs, Parsons don't want to accept the fact that he's right. Yep, 100%. Do it on purpose to Mike McCarthy. And I think that's what Mike McCarthy is fighting with. And I'm going to show you that in a moment. What reps, Dak? What are you talking? What reps, Dak? What are you talking about? Okay. He keeps talking about reps. What reps? Because what is Dak Prescott talking? He's talking about those mental reps that quarterbacks do in their mind, that they go through the plays even when they're not in. 4 to 5 weeks. I think it depends on if they're win or not. Cooper Rush, my quarterback. Trey Lance, my quarterback. Dak overthrows the ball because, hey, man, I'm telling you tell me anything you want to. But what you said don't match. The league was salivating for Dak Prescott to become a free agent. Why hasn't nobody called Jerry Jones about Trey Lance? Cleveland didn't call him about Trey Lance. The Raiders haven't called about Trey Lance. Nobody is calling about Trey Lance. And nobody wanted Cooper Rush on the free agency market. I mean, I hear us with the love for Cooper Rush, but you got to tell me, why do you love him and no one else does? So we know more than the NFL scouts? Cooper Rush has been there for the taking for years. You don't think the Cowboys would entertain a trade for Cooper Rush? If somebody came and said, hey, man, we like that quarterback y'all got, Cooper Rush, backing up Dak Prescott, why let him rot? Hey, we'll give you a 2nd-round draft. We'll give you a 3rd-round draft pick for him. Why hasn't anyone come and offered anything to the Cowboys for Cooper Rush? It ain't making sense. It's not adding up. I'm sorry, you said Mike Zim was doing his job. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. We beat the Rams that season without Cooper Rush. Touchdown. We are far from that this year. The defense is not the same. Maybe they need to get that old line to do some meditation so they can stop false starts and other penalties. That's a coaching issue. You guys, I hope I eat crow. System quarterback. Every quarterback's a system quarterback. I don't understand that mentality of people talking about Dak does nothing well. Not true. Jared says some Cowboy fans have even said Rush and Trey Lance are better than Dak, and that's why they're backing up Dak Prescott. Doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. Don't all remember what Cooper did when Dak went out 5-1, saved the season? Yeah, we remember. Yeah, he's a backup. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't understand why people don't understand. The backup quarterback is supposed to win games. That's what you got him for. He's supposed to win games. That means that you can do some things that he can win games. Pathetic play on all parties. Hey, I'm going to show you something. Automatic games out. 4 games out. We'll see. Cooper Rush, Hammond City Lamp got good relationship on that field. He the one that threw that touchdown to the one-handed catch and falling back catcher. Cooper Rush got something. Yeah. He's a backup quarterback. He's supposed to have something. The 70s fan, Cooper Rush threw for 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions throughout that stretch. He didn't win. That was fueled by the defense. No one's listening. No one's listening. But that defense ain't there now. Cowboys and Cooper Rush beat the Eagles. Do you think he can play? Do you think that can play Monday night? Don't see it happening. Yep, a lot of people. This is just crazy talk when we're talking about Cooper Rush, y'all. I'm just being 100% honest. The Cooper Rush stuff has got to stop. Everything y'all telling me, I would believe it. I've seen Cooper Rush. He can make some nice throws here and there. But he's not a starting quarterback, because if he was, he'd be starting. The Cowboys are not. Trey Lance is making more than Cooper Rush. Make that make sense. Cooper Rush was available this season. Nobody asked the Cowboys to get him. Y'all got to make it make sense. If Cooper Rush is that good, why is he backing up? Why is he backing up? So I won't keep making that argument. I'll let y'all just continue to believe what you want. But I want to show you some things about the game real quick. There are some very telling things about the game. And then I'm going to show you why Dak Prescott made this comment about we effing suck. Because I talked about this last week about the keys for them to win the game. And the keys to win the game, I said they had to get creative with CeeDee Lamb. Didn't do it. Spread the ball around. Didn't do it. Run the ball. Did it somewhat, but not enough. Stop the run. They did it. Stop the penalties. I've had this on here for weeks. They didn't do it. Get turnovers. They're still not doing it. They're not doing it the way they did it when Dan Quinn was here. They're just not doing it. Dan Quinn's defense was changing games, giving the Cowboys field position, all kinds of things. They're just not doing it. I want you to look at this. The Cowboys had 9 penalties for 55 yards. 55 yards. Some of these penalties were absolute drive killers. And penalties, there are some penalties you can understand, even though you don't want them to happen, you can understand. Sometimes a face mask is inadvertent. You go to grab a guy and he ducks down and you get his face mask on accident. Sometimes holding. As much as you don't want it to happen, they let them grab the jerseys, and then you don't realize that the running back is running to your right side, but because you're facing him, you can't see him. And so the guy tries to pull away from you, and so you pull his jersey, not realizing, oh man, he's running my way. It happens. You don't want it to happen, but it happens. But it's the type of penalties I want y'all to see. It's the type of penalties that the Dallas Cowboys are getting that are absolutely destroying them. And these are not just simple player penalties. These are the penalties that are being talked about, that you get right in walkthroughs, that you understand. What is that talking about? Cadences? You shouldn't be having penalties based on the cadences that you know you're doing in practice. You know you've been doing all season, last season. I mean, you shouldn't be getting those penalties. These are a lack of focus. What is going on to where Mike can't make these people focus? What's going on, Nisi? I was wondering when you were going to be here. What's going on? There is something wrong with the mental focus of this team. And typically when your team has penalty issues, not one guy, but the team has penalty issues, this is what Dak's been talking about. Mental preparation. Mental preparation. What are you doing? What's the situational football look like in practice? Are you practicing like some of the great coaches practice? Noise going on at the stadium, calling plays in noise. What are you doing? Are you practicing some of your audibles? Are you practicing some adjustments in practice so these guys can get used to those cadences, get used to those audibles, get used to those adjustments? Are you doing those things in practice? Guess who's in charge of that? Mike McCarthy. These are mental breakdowns. These are not holding calls. You don't believe me? Watch this. I'm going to show you something. You can find some of these things. It's called NFLpenalties.com. I'm going to show you something here about the Dallas Cowboys. I was looking at this today, and I thought it was fascinating. When you look at this situation on, let's see, here it is. When you look at the penalty log on NFLpenalties.com, it's fascinating when you start looking at this stuff. And it can tell you, you can look at these penalties, and then you can think back in the game, and then you realize how these penalties, see, it's not just the bad play that beat the Cowboys. See, that's the easy cop-out for most folk. Oh, Dak didn't play good. You don't know what you're talking about. Dak was actually playing really well. Unfortunately, for most folk, I heard Brian Broaddus talking about they wasn't moving it down the field in big chunks. Man, I don't need you to move it in big chunks. I don't care if you're moving it in little chunks. As long as you're moving is the only thing I care about. As long as you're moving. Y'all remember the Jason Garrett Cowboys? Man, them guys were doing 14, 15, 16-yard drives sometimes. How do you think they were doing that with Dak and Zeke in his rookie year? Y'all remember what they used to call Dak? Dink and dunk. Man, shut up. Stupid talk. It don't matter if it's dinking and dunking. If you're getting in that end zone, it's a score. We're stupid sometimes, man. We let people affect how we do things that are working. If it's working, if it's efficient, if you're winning, why are you worried about what people are saying? I don't care if you got 300 yards on 100 passes if you won the game. I mean, it's not recommendable, but I'm using the extreme to show the point. You do what works. Why are we worried about people talking? Look at this. So we got our first penalty in the first quarter. It was Schoonmaker. It was Schoonmaker for holding. It was about 14-14. It was second down, and the distance was 1. Guess what? That's a drive killer. You want to know why that's a drive killer? Because now, rather than you having 2nd and 1, now you're going back to the drawing board. Your plays totally change. There's a difference in a 2nd and 1. There's a difference in a 2nd and 1 and a 2nd and 11 or a 2nd and 15 or whatever the case may be. Now the whole playbook changed to where now you could have kept the drive going on 2nd and 1. You could have said, hey, you know what? We're 2nd and 1. We got an opportunity to take a shot. Or it's 2nd and 1. We're going to run Rico Dowdle, or whatever the case may be. If we don't get it, it's 3rd and 1, whatever the case may be. Schoonmaker makes a pivotal penalty. Now, here is where the craziness comes in. Because you know what? I can forgive Schoonmaker for holding. I mean, holding happens. You could probably call a holding on almost every play. But when you start talking about these types of penalties, watch these. Nisi says, how can Mike practice this and work on penalties if he acts as if he's not mentally sound? He's a defeated man. A lot of people saying that. There's a lot of people saying that Mike McCarthy is a defeated man. 70s fan says, stop listening to the talking heads on the 4-letter networks. I don't like the fact that Dak Prescott started listening to people talking about he wasn't running, and so he decides he's going to run. No, that's not what you do. You go to your coach and say, run the freaking ball. Run the ball, coach. Do you see what Rico Dowdle is doing out here? Rico Dowdle is running for 6 yards a carry. Run the ball, coach. That's what you tell the coach. I don't need to run. Rico Dowdle is killing it out here. What are we doing? But I want you to see what we're doing. You got a running game that's working. You're creating short yardage. It's 2nd and 1. You take yourself out of short yardage or a first down that you got. You take yourself out of short yardage, and now you put yourself in 2nd and long. Guess what happens? Not only does your play change, the defensive play change. This is a big deal, but I can forgive that because those things happen. But these are the ones that become unforgivable. Delay a game. Y'all see this? Delay a game. 5 yards. That's on Dak Prescott. That's on Dak Prescott. That's on Mike McCarthy. Get the play in from the sideline. Do what you need to do. Look at this. 2nd quarter. 6:26 in the game. 2nd down. 10 yards to go. Guess what happens when you get a false start? A delay of game. You went from 2nd and 10 to 2nd and 15. You don't think that changes your play call? You don't think that changes the game? You don't think that's changing how your players are responding? See, some people don't understand football. They just sit around and run their mouth talking about this person ain't good and this person ain't good because they want to boil it all down to their Dak Prescott hatred. Nah, I'm gonna boil it down to what people don't understand is football. Here we go again. Look at this. Dallas. I want you to read this and weep. I'm going to blow it up. Look at this. 3 false starts in a row. That's a lack of concentration. Those are mental lapses. That's exactly what those are. False start, 5 yards, 5 yards. Look who it is. Smith, Steele, Ferguson. These are officially drive killers. Look at this. 2nd quarter. Down in distance. First down. 1 yard to go. Thankfully declined. Look at the next one. 1st and 10. Thankfully declined. It just continues to change the game. It wasn't declined. 1st and 10. Distance 1. And I remember this one right here. Guess what happens? You get one of these on the 1 yard line. Guess what happens? Now, rather than you doing 1st and goal at the 1, now you're doing 1st and goal at the 6. You don't think your play calling changes? See, we're not getting into the nuts and the bolts of why they lost the game. I don't know what some of us are watching. I think some of us are so emotional when we're watching the game, we're not focusing on the details. But the devil is in the details. You want to know how you lose? You want to know why things are happening? And you're just looking on the surface and you say, oh, it's this play. It's a combination. It's a combination, y'all. And these are coaching issues. These are coaching issues. Yes, he can come from the Cowboy fan, but you got to be careful because you can't keep audibling every single play that the coach calls because then it's going to be even more of a war. Spider-Man says, we deferred to get the ball in the 3rd quarter. What do? 3 penalties. That's a great halftime adjustment. You see what I'm talking about, Spider-Man? See, when we start looking into these dirty details, look at this. These false starts. 1 in the 2nd quarter. Distance to go. 1 yard. Here we go. Opening up the 3rd quarter. Delay a game. 1st and 10. This changes everything. Delay a game takes you from 1st and 10 to 1st and 15. Look at this one. You don't think this was a drive killer? Ferguson. These are the things that prolong the game. These are the things that break people's concentration. Ferguson, again, 3rd quarter, 9:30 to go, 2nd down and 6. Changes from 2nd down and 6 to 2nd down and 11. Y'all see the problem? We're shooting our own selves in the foot. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. Look at this. This one, boy, y'all want to know what was the turning point in the game? Y'all want to know what was the turning point in the game? This one was a killer. 3rd quarter, 8:07, 4th down and 1. Dalvin Cook comes on the field. Not Dalvin Cook's fault. Not Dak Prescott's fault. Mike McCarthy's fault. Because obviously in the walkthrough, they knew they were going to do this play and they didn't get it right with Dalvin Cook. This is only Dalvin Cook's 2nd game. If you want Dalvin Cook to come in a certain situation, then you got to play out that situation and you got to make sure that everything is exactly like it was in the walkthrough. How stupid is it on offense? 12 men on the field? This is ludicrous. Y'all know what this was the precursor to? This was the precursor, if I'm not mistaken, to the dumbest play by Mike McCarthy of the season. Excuse me. The dumbest play by Mike McCarthy on the entire season is this right here. Anybody remember this play? And maybe this isn't the one, but I thought this was the one. Maybe the time is wrong, but I thought there was a delay of, I thought there was 12 men on the field right before that play. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was the play before this play. But whatever the case may be, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought there was a penalty before this play. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But when you want to talk about an absolute killer play, this right here was a killer play by the Dallas Cowboys. Boneheaded. Watch this.
Playing, giving the ball back to Atlanta doesn't seem like a great idea. So I was wondering, are they going to consider going for it here? They decide not to. Put the punt team out, but they're maybe being a little bit clever here. However, watch how Atlanta plays this. You see.
Okay, so this might not be the play, but that play, and I'm going to go back to it, that play where the Dalvin Cook play, that was a game changer, but the fake punt is really what messed us up. Watch this fake punt. Tell me, does this make sense?
That when the ball is snapped, Atlanta is covering. I mean, they are ready for a potential pass.
Now watch this. He's explaining something that I want to add something to. So if you're going to run this play, the fake punt, if you're going to run the fake punt, you got to tell the gunner, you got to tell this guy right here, there has to be some communication between this guy, I mean, not the gunner, but the protector right here. You got to keep this guy and this guy on some kind of communication level. Because typically when people run the fake punt, this guy right here, if you can see my cursor moving, he will typically signal to the punter if the fake punt can be ran because he gets to read the coverage. He gets to read the coverage. And he'll tell him of whether or not they've dropped back in the coverage, or I mean, if they've already started running down the field, or are they rushing, or are they staying up? He'll give him some kind of signal. Watch this.
They are not going to get fooled here. They're not really that interested in, trying to block a punt here. They're making sure that, hey, they're thinking what Dallas is thinking, which is this is maybe a time to go for it. Let's just be a little safe here and let's be prepared for a potential fake. So they're just all over this. Like, you compare that to an earlier punt in the game. I mean, it's night and day, right? I mean, clearly they're prepared for a potential fake. The fake is what happens, and it does not go particularly well when the ball.
Can y'all explain this? That play isn't there. The outside guys for Atlanta, they don't even budge. They're playing close coverage on the Cowboys' outside gunners. So you don't tell the punter, if you see the coverage, pull it down and kick it anyway. Was this guy a quarterback in high school?
You compare that to an earlier.
He must have wanted to run this play. Look at this. It doesn't make any logical sense. Well, I'm trying to play it. Look at this. This was the turning point in the game. And I'm going to tell you something. That should have been a pick six. That absolutely should have been a pick six. Game changer. You're only down 14-10, and you do this on your side of the field? You want to talk about breaking your team's back? You want to talk about breaking your team's back? Do y'all realize right here the Cowboys are in perfect position? They're still in the game. What is up with these Dallas Cowboys in these third quarters? What is up with them? This has got to be the dumbest play of the season by Mike McCarthy. And Fossil, I think his name is, the special teams coach. You know what he said? I don't regret running that play. Get out of here. You're fired. Get out of here, you're fired. Don't you dare let this guy come back. This guy's supposed to be a really good special teams coach. But see, he trying to fall on the sword. That's a dumb play. I'm sorry, I just had to call it. It was stupid. We shouldn't have never did it. Anger didn't even read to see if the guy was covering the guy he was throwing. He still had plenty of time to punt it. It was a dumb play on my part. I didn't communicate to him how to execute that play. I'm going to take the blame for that. But what he did also, it was terrible. What? So you're going to take up for the player? That's what's wrong with this team. You want to know why Dak Prescott is saying this team sucks? This stuff. I'm not listening to anybody talking about, if the leader's saying that they suck, how can we be motivated to play for cheer for the team? If you're going to cheer for the team through this, well, you can cheer through what Dak said. We suck. You're talking about what Dak said. How do you cheer through this? What? This is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. Look at this. This is crazy. Look at this again. Look at this. Let me play it again. I'm sorry. I want y'all to see this. Look at this. Make that make sense. Ball game. Y'all know what happened after this? Of course they were on our side of the field. You want to know what happened after this? I bet you can guess. They went down and made the score 21-10. Stupid. And Mike McCarthy has the unmitigated gall to throw down the tablet. What? Throw your doggone play calling sheet in the trash. This is stupid. And then folk got the nerve to be mad at Dak Prescott on the sideline as he's looking at this entire game unfold. We suck, you don't say. Say it, Dak. Should have said it in the press conference. What do you think about this team? What do you think their morale is? Well, I don't know what the morale is, but I'm going to tell you this. We suck. All the way from the top to the bottom. We suck. Cut me. I got 231 million reasons why you won't cut me. Dak needs to start saying more things like this. Say it. What they going to do to you, Dak? You're making $231 million, $250 million. Do something. This is crazy. I'm telling you, there are some times when you just got to call it what it is. I'm tired of this generation. Ooh, but the health of, somebody's feelings. You know what? I'm the wrong one. You put your feelings in front of me, and I'm going to step on them with facts. We suck. That play sucked. Anger sucked. Stupid. Stupidity at its finest. Spider-Man, you still with me? You want to know why we lost the game? I'm showing you. I'm showing you. Anger was not properly coached on that play, Angie. There's no way he made that play to me. That's a play to me you have to stay after practice for. That's a play that everybody has to stay after practice for, or we gonna carve out some time in practice. Hey guys, this can't be no one or two times. We need to practice this play so that we need to play this in full speed so Anger can see what he needs to be looking for. Let's make some communication between him and the up man so that if it's not there, let him give a signal. And I've seen this where they'll pat the left cheek, they'll pat the right cheek, they'll pat the left cheek. Do something with your hands. Have both arms out. And if you're looking to the left and the right and you see both of them running out, close your fist. If you see them run down the field, because sometimes these blockers, they'll all of a sudden try to time the snap count, and then they'll run down the field so they can get down there and block. If you see that, hands open, arms out. Stupid. Don't talk to me about Dak Prescott. Stupid. This is dumb coaching. Dumb coaching at its finest. That's why Dak Prescott is saying, we suck. You disagree? I'm sorry, that's the worst play of the season. It's the worst play of the season. Worst play of the season. 70s fan. He should have at least tried to punt it. I'm with you. But he didn't read. Was this man a quarterback in high school? He was determined to throw that. He was determined to throw that. Jerry, it's time for a hard-nosed coach. Discipline doesn't hurt. Oh, I'm sorry, but Dak Prescott needs to transform a little bit too. I said it. We suck. I got 231 million reasons why there's nothing you can do about it. You either going to change it or we going to do something different. You heard what Dak said. Well, if they do something at the trade deadline, if they ask me, well, what does that mean, Dak? They're going to ask you what? Oh, I know, because there's 231 million reasons why they need to ask you. What do you think about what we're going to do, Dak? Well, why don't you go up there and tell somebody, Mike sucks. I love him, but he sucks. We can't win if we continue like this. It's crazy. Things looking up with lame duck out. Not even listening to you. Gene said, Nancy, hard nose is definitely needed. No doubt. This is football, not flag football. Detroit versus Kansas City at Super Bowl. Detroit looking pretty nasty right now, Kim Chillin. I'm telling you, I just don't see in the NFC right now anybody who can stop Detroit. Detroit mauling teams. I mean, they are literally mauling teams, leaving them in the streets, man, in nothing but shoes and underwear. They're mauling teams, bro. They mauling teams. No, you're not getting it forward. See, this is why someone like you don't understand football. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. We suck. If Dak would have said, he suck, you suck, Mike sucks, I'd have had a problem with that. He said we suck. He's talking about the whole situation. The whole situation. Even him. Y'all don't think Dak wants to play better with this team? The problem is these insane Dak Prescott haters are liars. They are unequivocal liars. These same folk who running around talking about they feel sorry. Talking about they feel sorry for the Cincinnati quarterback. Why do you feel sorry for him? Y'all help me out. Why do y'all feel sorry for the Cincinnati Bengals? Why do y'all feel sorry for Joe Burrow? Why? Why do we feel sorry for him? Why do we feel sorry for Joe Burrow? Oh, because his offensive line is hurt? Have you saw our offensive line? Because the players are not that great around. Have you seen what we're playing with? Oh, I know why you're feeling sorry for him, because he's not living up anymore to your expectations, huh? He's not living up to them anymore, is he? Joe Burrow is not who you want him to be. So it's funny how the narrative changes. When it's the quarterback that we love and he's not living up to his expectations, it's everybody around him. But when it's the quarterback that we hate, it's not everybody around him, but it's him who's messing up everybody around him. Miss me. I'm not listening to any of that talk. It's plain stupidity. It's plain stupidity, and it shows bias. It's stupid. Almost, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, Cam Chillin. Don't you put Kansas City in there yet? Don't you put Kansas City in that Super Bowl yet? I'm telling you something right now. When Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry hit them playoffs this time, it's gonna be a different story, bro. I know their record isn't 7-0, but I'm gonna tell you something. The playoffs different. You're not going to be able to play Lamar Jackson like people have played him in the past because Lamar Jackson has been able to easily beat in the playoffs. You know why? Because people will typically bring in an extra defensive back. They put a spy on him, and they make sure he's not going to run the ball because the plan is you turn Lamar Jackson into a quarterback without his legs, and he's below average. I dare you to do that in the playoffs. I dare you to do it. Lamar Jackson go hand that ball off to Derrick Henry 25 times, and I'm telling you, I guarantee you I'll put money on it. Derrick Henry is going to at least, if he's still healthy, Derrick Henry will at least break one long run per playoff game. Kansas City, if you're looking at the way Patrick Mahomes is playing, if I'm anybody playing Kansas City watching how Patrick Mahomes is playing, unless something changes and I see what he got around him, his defense is ferocious. The running game is great, but those wide receivers, I'm going to put money on it. I thought I'd never say this. We're going to make sure Patrick Mahomes beat us. We're going to make sure Patrick Mahomes beat us. Because you know why? Because he hadn't been beating teams. His defense has been beating teams. His running game has been beating teams. He hasn't been the reason why they're winning. He has been a part of the reason. It's different this year. Don't you put him in there yet? I'm just telling you, I digress. I got to get back to the Cowboys. Mike just let Dak drop the game plan next game and OC that game. But let me tell y'all something. I guarantee you Dak Prescott could call plays better than Mike McCarthy right now. Right now. I bet y'all right now the Dallas Cowboys would be 5-3, 6-2 if Dak Prescott was calling his own game. I guarantee you. There's very few quarterbacks that can do it. Dak is one of them. Dak is one of them. He's already proved he can do it. Gene said these generations truly soft. CD crying to his mama all the time. There's something wrong with this generation. It is. I feel sorry for Lamb. Dak is a great player. Stop hating. Oh, he's great. No doubt about it. You don't pay a player that's not great. Our O-line is not good yet. And I love the word you used. Yet. Yep, I hear you, Cam. Not true, though. Gene, I grew up watching Roger the Doll, all this crying and trash talking on the podcast and not the field. Insane. I feel sorry for Joe Burrow because he let his barber do that to his hair. I'm with you, man. That thing is terrible. Cam Chillin, he said you right. You just wait. You better tell him about them Ravens. Gene, I'm telling you, I'm terrified of them. Everybody ought to be afraid of them. They haven't even hit their full stride yet. When they hit them playoffs, I promise you, it won't be the same. And the way Kansas City is playing, don't let that record fool you. Don't let that record fool you. Them playoffs going to be different. I'm going to tell y'all something else. Josh Allen ain't done yet either. Josh Allen ain't done. And I won't be surprised if they try to pull off something at the trade deadline for Josh Allen. They're going to try to get Josh Allen in that Super Bowl. They want him in there bad. Baltimore Ravens running their teams. Man, I'm telling you. I forgot about the Ravens. Yes, sir. And don't forget about them Bills, bro. They going to do something for them. I won't be surprised if they do something tomorrow. They're going to do something tomorrow. They need more to try to beat the Chiefs. And not just the Chiefs. We saw what the Ravens did to the Bills. Boy, I'm telling you, man, folks better do something about them Ravens. CD, Dak 9 seasons having Dez, Amari, and CD top 5. O-line, Zeke, Pollard in their primes. Top 10 defenses leading the league. Same results. I'm going to call cap on you. You know why? Tell me where Tony Pollard was last year. Why couldn't they run the ball? Why couldn't they run the ball against the Green Bay Packers? Why? Why? What did Tony Pollard do? What did he do? Help me out. What did they do on defense? Why couldn't they stop the run last year? What did they do? We actually got the same problem right now that we had in those playoffs against the Green Bay Packers. The only thing is we had a few more better players. You know what the problem was? We couldn't stop the run then. What is our problem now, y'all? We can't stop the run. Now, I'm going to give Mike Zimmer some credit. And I'm going to talk about Mike Zimmer in just a moment. Couldn't stop the run. Couldn't run the ball, y'all. Couldn't run the ball. I would dare say, and I'm going to tell you now, Rico Dowdle is running the ball better than Tony Pollard ran it last year. I'm not talking about the year before last. He's running the ball better than Tony Pollard ran it last year. And the reason why we're not winning these games, the reason why CeeDee Lamb is hurt right now, the reason why Dak Prescott is hurt right now, the reason why that game went the way that it went, on top of those penalties, on top of that boneheaded, stupid fake punt, they would not run the football. Stupid. Just stupid. Dak is throwing horrible. No, Dak doesn't have confidence in hardly any of his players. We saw Dak did with Ben DiNucci. He called his own plays. Dak can call plays better than Mike McCarthy. I truly believe it. I believe that as well. Dak is a good quarterback. He's great. And it's so funny. For all these players who hate Dak Prescott and got their favorite teams, their quarterback will tell you just how great Dak Prescott is. Mike Tomlin said how great Dak Prescott is. Dan Campbell will tell you how great Dak Prescott is. It's amazing to me. The same people that say Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush is this and that, and he's been riding behind Dak Prescott. No team wanted him in the offseason. The Cowboys put him out there. Nobody wanted him. He's been a career backup, and no team needing a quarterback has ever came to the Cowboys and said, we'll give you a first, a second, a third, a fourth, or a fifth for doggone Cooper Rush. These same people who talking about him are the same people who saying Dak Prescott ain't no good, but then the same people who they like are saying that Dak Prescott is elite. Your argument holds no water with me. And it holds no water with anybody who knows football. They put safeties at linebacker. I'm telling us, a lot of us want to say we know football, but a lot of people who, when you start hearing people talk about people and they're not talking about the facts, that's when I know folks don't know football. They're emotional, fanatical fans that when things, or if it's somebody they don't like, they're going to blame them for every single thing that goes on. I guess Dak Prescott played defense last year with the Dallas Cowboys. It's just plain silly. I don't have time to make these Dak arguments tonight. I want to continue talking about these penalties because we got the fake punt. So, okay, that's here in the third quarter. So we also have these drive killers. Ferguson again, false start. This is the third quarter. We got another one here. Too many men on the field. And I thought that was before the fake punt. That's after the fake punt. So it's already, again, drive killer. 4th and 1. The Cowboys were going to go for it. They were going to go for it. And guess what happens? They get too many men on the field and they have to punt the ball. And here we go again. Offensive holding. We got this in the fourth quarter. A continued, just think about what's happening. Continued drive killers. What's this one? Offensive holding. It's, let's see, 1:55 to go in the third quarter, 1st and 10. Now, you may think, okay, that's early down in distance. But if you understand football, you go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 15. Do we not realize that changes your plays? All these details matter, y'all. All these details matter. The devil is in the details. Look at this. All of the penalties in the remaining part of the game. Look who they're on. Look who they're on. None by Atlanta. They're all Dallas. Look at the type of calls they are. False start. Too many men on the field. Okay, I get the offensive holding. Illegal formation. Y'all know what this is? It's a preparation walkthrough problem. You should not be having illegal formations. This is a problem. Look who it is. Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton. Fourth quarter, 9:43 to go. 2nd down and 6. So now you got a legal formation. You went from 2nd down and 6, and now all of a sudden the distance goes back. This is just continuous. These are mental lapses by the Dallas Cowboys. These are drive killers. These are drive killers. There's no other way to slice it. And anytime you get drive killers, you don't understand. Even if you come back and get the first down, now you got to spend the play you didn't plan on spending. Maybe you got to use a play that you wanted to use in another situation when the score was this way or that way. But now it's so crucial. You got to do something different. I'm telling us, we're not understanding this. We're not understanding this. Dak has been saying this all season long. Preparation, practicing. Dak is telling us something. There are some serious problems going on this team. And this is why I'm going to tell you. I want to show you the defense for just a moment. The defense. I said they needed to stop the run. Do y'all know the Cowboys stopped the run? I made a mistake right here. Hold on a second. I said they needed to get pressure on Kirk Cousins. You want to know what's insane? They actually did get a little bit of pressure on Cousins. I was trying to find a graph for it. Someone was talking about it, and I thought it was very interesting. They actually did get pressure on Cousins. Let me tell y'all something that I found to be fascinating. I was listening to Brian Broaddus today in Vosh Lombardi, and they were saying something to me that was fascinating that just was crazy. They were saying, now we know that the Atlanta Falcons, we'd actually talked about it on Saturday, they were not very good pass rushers, and they played off coverage. And this is why Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, they're all saying the same thing. We thought this was a team that we could beat. And the reason why they thought they could beat this team is that Atlanta is not a good pass rushing team. Can y'all tell me why Dak Prescott was running for his life more than Kirk Cousins? Dak Prescott was literally running for his life more than Kirk Cousins. And what they couldn't understand, and what's even crazier, is that we got pressure on Kirk Cousins and he was still able to make throws on us. And a part of this is going to go to what I'm going to talk about here in just a moment. We were not able to force Cousins into errors. And I'm going to tell you something. See, the Falcons are doing what I've been saying to y'all that the Cowboys should be doing. Do y'all realize that Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 25 times? How many times did I tell y'all that Dak Prescott needed to throw the ball? I've been saying it. 25 times. Throwing the ball more than 25 times, not just for Dak Prescott, throwing the ball more than 25 times for any quarterback is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster, especially when you don't have the kinds of players that you need at those skill positions. Because I'm starting to wonder about, now, I said at the beginning of the season, Jalen Tolbert is one of the most important players that we have. And I'm just wondering, like, what's going on? Because Jalen Tolbert, he'll have these good games, and then he'll have these not so good games. And so I'm just wondering, what's going on? What's going on with this issue with Tolbert? Why so up and down? And I'm telling y'all, you got to understand how this all goes. You don't want your quarterback throwing the ball more than 25 times. Because if you're throwing the ball more than 25 times, you're more than likely in some form of shootout. You're in some form of shootout. And the one thing you really don't want to be in is, if you can help it, is you don't want to be in a shootout. You want to be comfortably beating teams. I'm going to give you a prime example. I want you to look at the game. I got the box score up here for all you Patrick Mahomes fans. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan too. He's from my home area. But I want you to look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at this. I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. I got to help folks who don't know football. I want you to look at this. This is the Kansas City Chiefs against the San Francisco 49ers. I watched this game. I want you to feast your eyes on how many times Patrick Mahomes threw the ball. 27 times. That's how many times Patrick Mahomes threw the ball. That's exactly what you want. Isn't it strange they won that football game? Isn't it strange, y'all, that they won that game? The crazy part is they won that game, and Patrick Mahomes only threw for 154 yards and 2 interceptions. And people are losing their minds because Dak Prescott yesterday didn't get that many yards. He didn't even finish the game. I'm pretty sure Dak Prescott would have probably had around 2.5. He had no interceptions. Look at this. Patrick Mahomes, 16-27, 154 yards, 2 interceptions. Look at this. Brock Purdy, 31 times. Three interceptions. You know why he threw three? You know why he threw 3 interceptions? Because he threw the ball 31 times. That means they were playing from behind or they were trying to catch up. You want another amazing stat? I'm just telling you, I know what I'm talking about here. I've been around long enough to understand how you win football games. You want to see another amazing stat? Look how many times Kareem Hunt alone ran the football. I wonder what would have happened, y'all, yesterday if the Dallas Cowboys would have handed the ball to one Rico Dowdle 22 times. Kareem Hunt went 22 carries for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. Look at Jordan Mason on the other side for Brock Purdy. You want to know why Brock Purdy threw 31 times? Because Jordan Mason only ran the ball 14 times. And a lot of that can be attributed to that staunch, crazy, devastatingly good Kansas City Chiefs defense. Top 5 defense that Patrick Mahomes is playing with. We don't understand facts, and that's why a lot of us don't know football. Football is a lot more, it's a lot more nuanced than people understand. It's not a lot of times just a team. Sometimes it's not just a team being as much better than a team. A team executes better than a team. It's not always about the quarterback being bad, because if I showed you that box score with the Kansas City Chiefs, you might would have thought, looking at Patrick Mahomes' box score, you would be saying, oh, I'm sure they lost that game. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They won that game, I think, by 10 points? 28-18? They won that game 28-18. And Patrick Mahomes had a game like that. Patrick Mahomes had a fascinating run in that game, and I think it still needs to be studied why folks don't want to tackle Patrick Mahomes, but I digress. The problem that the Dallas Cowboys has, that they have, they are having a problem, and they're talking about it over and over and over, and people aren't listening. They got a preparation issue, and this is one of the reasons why they can't succeed. And this is why when I think about the Dallas Cowboys defense, if you would have told me this one stat, if you would have told me that the Dallas Cowboys held Robinson below 100 yards rushing and held the Atlanta Falcons to 100 yards rushing, I'm going to tell you that Dallas won that game. But they didn't. That fake punt in the third quarter changed the whole game. I'll never understand why you will run a fake punt on your own 30-something yard line. 13 minutes left in the game. You're not even out of the game. There's not even a reason to run that play. All you got to do is play it safe. There's no reason to run that play. The offense is actually playing good enough. The offense is playing good enough. There's no reason to do it. Rico Dowdle is literally having... Do y'all know Rico Dowdle surpassed the Pittsburgh game? Rico Dowdle, y'all. Rico Dowdle, once again, had the game of his career without even trying. The only thing we did was say, we're going to give you the ball. That's all the Dallas Cowboys did. So that's why, for me, as much as I say that Jerry Jones is handcuffing Mike McCarthy to a degree, I'm going to fault Mike McCarthy because there is no reason why Mike McCarthy is not running the football. There is absolutely no reason that he is not running the football, y'all, other than he don't want to. He doesn't want to run it. There's no other, because we could say, well, he's not running it. He's not running it because they're stopping the run. And let me see. I'm looking here in the chat. Cam says, you need your O-line for that play. Cam, I'm going to show you again, brother. You're at the wrong place. You're just throwing out statements. You're in the wrong place, bro. Because I'm going to show you how I know that you're not paying attention to the game. You're obviously not a Cowboy fan. You don't watch the game. Because even the pundits are saying the same thing that I've been saying. Anybody who's been following me now know I've been saying. You know how I'm going to tell you that you don't know what you're talking about as it applies to this offensive line? Tell me what you want to. But if I'm the offensive line, I'm going to argue with you. I'm going to argue with the coach. I'm going to argue with Dan Quinn. I'm going to argue with Mike McCarthy. And you know what I'm going to tell you? Look at this. Y'all explain it to me. How in the world does Rico Dowdle run for 12 carries for 75 yards? Make it make sense. We only gave this man the ball 12 times. 75 yards, 6.2, 6.3 yards per carry, and you're not going to hand it to him? It's pure madness. Don't talk to me about the O-line. You talk to me about the O-line when he's 12 for 12. You tell me when he's 12 for 20. You tell me when he's 12 for 25. But don't you dare talk to me about the O-line when you're 12 for 75. How is he getting those yards? Help me out, Cam. Help me out. Did he make everybody on the Atlanta Falcons miss? Cowboy fans, y'all chime in. Tell me. Tell me what happened. Did Rico Dowdle make every single player on the Atlanta Falcons miss when he ran the ball 12 times for 75 yards? Tell me what he did, y'all. Because I'm going to call you a liar if you're telling me he made everybody miss, because I haven't seen the highlights. I haven't seen the highlights of Rico Dowdle running all through the Atlanta Falcons line while the Dallas Cowboy O-line laying on the ground. Help me out, y'all. You want to know why we lost this game? Spider-Man asked the question, how do we outrush him? You outrushed him on Rico Dowdle only running the ball 12 times. What happens if we give it to him 24? Give this man the ball. Watch what they do with Cooper Rush. Watch what they do. You're going to see Rico Dowdle, 20 carries, 25 carries. They're going to give them a full dose of Rico Dowdle. But you know what the problem's going to be? Because if I'm playing the Dallas Cowboys, especially with Cooper Rush, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Everybody keeps saying he's a top 5 draft pick. He was drafted in obviously 2000 and he was obviously drafted in 2020. He's a 26-year-old hotshot quarterback. He's a number 1 draft pick waiting to take Dak Prescott's spot. So he's got to be good. You know what I'm going to do when I play them without Dak Prescott? I'm going to stack that box. I'm going to dare Cooper Rush. I'm going to dare him to beat me. Because y'all know we have a number 1 quarterback behind Dak Prescott, and we literally cheated Cooper Rush. We cheated Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush should be the starter. He should have the big contract. Every team in the league were clamoring for him. So Cooper Rush is going to go out there and throw all over the field. Watch what they do. They're going to do what they should have been doing. Rico Dowdle should have been getting this ball. He should have been getting this ball. But you know why he couldn't get it? Ezekiel Elliott. Now we know. Now we know why Rico Dowdle said, hey, man, I'm going to let y'all do what y'all do. I'm sick. Rico Dowdle wasn't sick. Miss me. He was sick of Ezekiel Elliott and this coaching staff fighting with one another. That's what Rico Dowdle was sick of. I'm telling y'all, they should have been giving this ball to Rico Dowdle a long time ago, and I don't understand. Jerry Jones is going to say he's got so much confidence in the coaching staff. I don't have a coaching staff who can look at a box score and say, hold on a second. Rico Dowdle is killing the Atlanta Falcons. Y'all know what Brian Broader said that I thought that was so amazing? Brian Broader said that even he thought, because the Atlanta Falcons play such soft coverage and they don't rush the quarterback well, Brian Broader said he thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to take advantage of the Atlanta Falcons by throwing the ball on them. But I'm going to show y'all how people don't think. Do y'all know Geno Smith sliced and diced the Atlanta Falcons? Geno Smith sliced and diced them. But you know what? You know what the Atlanta Falcons did that I think that is so strange? They're not a pass rushing team, but guess what they did against the Dallas Cowboys? The O-line is really not that good. We can actually get to Dak Prescott. And we're not worried about the run because it's not that they can't run, but we also know that Mike McCarthy is not going to try and run. So what we need to focus on, getting Dak Prescott off his spot and holding these wide receivers, and we're not worried about the running game. And Brian Broader said, and he was even amazed, the Atlanta Falcons was letting the Dallas Cowboys run all over them. Rico Dowdle ran all over them in just 12 carries. He ran all over them. And y'all, he wasn't even done just in the running game. Do y'all know what Rico Dowdle did in the passing game? He literally ate on them. Rico Dowdle was 5 for 32 and 1 touchdown. And somebody said, what do you mean he was eating? He was 6.4 yards a catch. What? We're crazy, y'all. There are just some folk who don't know football. We're crazy. I'm not listening to anybody talking about the Cowboys offensive line. I'm not listening to you. You know how you help an offensive line that can't block? You run the doggone ball. If you don't know that, you don't know football. You run the ball. You don't put them in pass blocking situations. They're not good enough to do it. You run the ball. Don't tell me you can't run the ball. You refuse to run the ball. Mike McCarthy said himself in his press conference, you know how we can beat teams until we get consistent with complementary football. The defense stopping the run and the offense running the football. When we do that, we'll win. Hold on. I'm about to call cap. I'm about to call cap on Mike McCarthy, y'all. And this is why I say Mike McCarthy is a bold-faced liar. Mike McCarthy is a bold-faced liar. Mike McCarthy said if we run the ball and stop the run, we will beat teams. Can I get you Exhibit B? This is the box score, y'all. The Cowboys ran. Wait a minute. The Cowboys almost doubled their yearly average for running. They're only running for 74, 75 yards a game, and they ran for 137 yards, barely trying. And they held the Atlanta Falcons to 100 yards rushing. And you're telling me that we can beat them if we play complementary football. Mike, you did not hold up your end of the bargain because 12 carries isn't enough for Rico Dowdle. Let me tell y'all something. If I got a running back and you can't stop the man, guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm not going to stop the man until you stop the man. I'm going to run Rico Dowdle until you stop him. I'm going to run him until you stop him. And if you can't stop him, then you're not going to stop him because I'm not going to stop him. We're not understanding what we're saying. We're not understanding what we're saying. And people who are knowing football, they're talking about this now. I've been talking about it for weeks. They should have been handing Rico Dowdle this football. This is plain nonsense. And now we got the quarterback hurting because people were begging, ooh, there's something wrong with Dak Prescott. He's not running like he... What does he need to run for? What does he need to run for? Rico Dowdle could have got those yards. Easy. They couldn't stop him. Hey, Dak, you know what? Hey, man, we about to change this game plan up. Spider-Man, you remember what you said? Cowboys are terrible at halftime adjustments. You telling me they couldn't go in at halftime and say, man, we might need to change the game plan a little bit. They're not stopping Rico. They're not stopping. And until they stop Rico, hey, let's put in a couple of more plays for Rico Dowdle. Let's put in a couple of more plays for Rico Dowdle. They're not stopping him. What did we do? Mike McCarthy can't help himself, y'all. He can't help himself. He got to keep running. I'm sorry, Cam. You're talking to the wrong person. I don't want to hear nothing about no better running. I don't want to hear nothing about the O-line. I don't want to hear anybody talking to me about the O-line. I don't want to hear nothing about these runs. I don't want to hear nothing about we don't have a good enough running back. When Rico Dowdle is literally on this particular game, I guarantee you his yards per carry were better than almost everybody in the NFL. I bet you they were. You got a running back running 6 yards a carry and you give it to him 12 times? You stupid. Not him. You stupid. The Atlanta Falcons had no answer for Rico Dowdle. This man destroyed them. This man, again, just like the Pittsburgh Steelers, 100+ yards of offense by himself. By himself, y'all. Make it make sense. Y'all make it make sense. Because it ain't making none to me. It's not making no sense to me. What's going on, Freddie? It ain't making no sense to me. You can tell me anything you want to, but it's all excuses from this point. You tell me you don't have a good running back, and you got a running back that's running better than the best running back. I'm not listening. You saying your offensive line can't block. No, they can't pass block. They can't pass block is what they can't do. But if you let them run block, why is it they were running the ball and running it well? You want to help out a young offensive line who can't pass block? Run the ball. Y'all know what Guyton's strength is? He gets killed on technique. But you want to know what his strength is? He's super strong and powerful. BB, super strong and powerful. What am I going to do? Terrence Steele can't pass block. Run the ball. It's that simple. We got to, this is dumb. And this is the problem I have with Mike McCarthy. I know, let's say, one hand tied behind his back. Jerry won't let him coach. The one thing he has control over is that raggedy play sheet that he has. And I bet you he's going to do exactly what I'm telling you he should have been doing. Watch this. I'm going to show you something else. Zeke is washed up. If they would have had fed Rico a bit more, he would have gotten around 180 yards rushing. I'm telling you, the math is right there. They're the ones who didn't run Rico. They are the ones who refused to run the ball. That's why they lost. Take what the defense gives you. It's not hard to figure out. You know what they determined they were going to give us, the 70s fan? The run. You know why? They can't run. They won't run. If I'm the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, I'm laughing. I'm right now telling the coaching staff, that Dallas Cowboy team is done. Because we had no answer for their run game. We have no answer for their run game. I'm glad they stopped running. They saved us the trouble of trying to figure out how to stop Rico Dowdle. We couldn't stop him in the run game. We couldn't stop him in the pass game. We're stupid. We're stupid. You don't understand, Cam. Did Kareem Hunt run well against the San Francisco 49ers early? He had 22 carries for 78 yards. Please start showing me where you understand this game. You're not just running the ball for long. You're not running the ball just to get 100 yards, 200 yards. You're not running the ball for chunk plays. You're running the ball because you want the team to know we're going to run the ball and we're going to keep running it on you. And if you keep stopping us, we're going to keep running you. We're going to keep running it. You still got to run it. You got to show me. You're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, but you hadn't been watching them. They're not exactly killing teams like they were with Pacheco, but they're still running the ball. You have to. And I'm with you, 70s fan. If you lose running the ball, I'm okay. Y'all got to tell me something. Cam, it don't matter. You don't understand. The start don't matter. Keep running. Do you not understand football? Kareem Hunt, what did he do? They kept running the ball. What did the Atlanta Falcons do? Robinson didn't do anything. They kept running the ball. That 100 yards was between two running backs, not one. You keep running the ball. And if you keep running the ball, they think you're going to keep running the ball. And if they think you're going to keep running the ball, now your play action is running. Show me you know football, Cam. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just asking you. Show me you know football. You got to keep running. It don't matter. Keep running the ball. You have to. That's how you create play action. Play action it's not even based on whether or not the running back is even running for 150 yards. It's based upon we will run the ball whether we get 100 yards or not. But Kareem Hunt was killing them. There's no excuse. I'm not going to argue with you. You can argue all you want to, but there's no excuse. No, Rico Dowdle was literally destroying the Atlanta Falcons. The Cowboys could have ran that ball and they didn't do it. And they chose not to do it. There's no other excuse. There's no other excuse. And the problem that I have with Mike McCarthy, we can say anything we want to about Jerry Jones. Mike McCarthy got that play sheet. Freddie said when you run the ball on the team, you take their heart and manhood away from them. Run the ball. Mike McCarthy looks for excuses not to run the ball. He looks for excuses. Ooh, we didn't get yards on that. Who cares? Keep running. Brian Broaddus said the same thing. I know his football mind is better than mine. Brian Broaddus said it didn't make sense. The Atlanta Falcons had no answer for the Dallas Cowboys running the ball. They didn't. Defense, hope you stop running the football. You better believe they were laughing at the Cowboys. The Cowboys were literally teeing Dak Prescott up for them to hit. And they were hitting Dak Prescott all day long. It didn't make sense. And Dak Prescott even alluded to, he didn't really know where the injury came from. It could have been a hit. It could have been a knock. He didn't know where it came from. I'm telling us, this team, the reason why they're their own worst enemies. They are. They are their own worst enemies. And this is what happened. And I think the question the Spider-Man asked is powerful. How do you lose the game that even though you didn't do some things, but the one thing that nobody thought you could do, you did it? You did it. You stopped the run. You held the Falcons with that running back, who everyone says is fantastic. You held them below 100 yards. I don't understand the Dallas Cowboys. And then when you think about special teams, have y'all noticed something that teams are doing to our special teams? They're nullifying our special teams. They're content. They'll say, hey, we'll just kick it in the end zone. We would rather kick it in the end zone than deal with Kevontae Turpin. That's what they're saying. And so we keep trying to get our special teams involved. And the problem is the fake punt was absolutely horrible. I'm sorry. That play by Mike McCarthy, to be honest with you, that is a fireable offense. That's literally a fireable offense play. Rush better run the ball. If not, Trey will be in the game. Nisi, watch what they're going to do for Cooper Rush. Mark my words. I could be wrong. They're going to run the ball with Cooper Rush. They're going to run the ball. They're going to slow the game way down. See, now Cooper Rush, because of his limitations, he's going to force you into TOP, time of possession. Not only are we going to run the ball, You run all the time you can off the clock in between plays. You take that clock down to 2 seconds. We're not going to do all this stuff that Dak Prescott, because Cooper Rush is not capable of it. We're not going to do all of the pre-snap reads. We're not going to walk up to the line and say this and that and this and that and all of this. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to run the ball. We're going to have a running game plan. And the pass plays, 2 reads, we're done. With Cooper Rush, we don't want you to go through no progressions. Primary receiver, secondary receiver. That's it. Watch what they do. They're going to dumb this thing all the way down for Cooper Rush. All the way down. That's all they're going to do. And it makes perfect sense. You dumb it down for him. Because I can tell you this. Trey Lance is going to get in this thing if Dak Prescott ain't coming back in 6 weeks. And I'm sorry, I'm here for it. I don't want Cooper Rush playing for 6 weeks. We already know what Cooper Rush is. We know what he is. Yeah, he'll win you 2 or 3 games. But then when you get to them tough teams, he ain't going to stand up. If you're going to play without an offensive line and you're going to drop back to pass, I want to see Trey Lance, read option. I want to see Trey Lance running out of that backfield. I want to see Trey Lance all day long. All day long. I'm telling you. Yep, when you run the ball, you demoralize the defense because the run is supposed to be the easiest thing to stop. You got to run the ball. You can call us pathetic all you want to. I'm just telling you the facts. You don't have to like them. I'm just telling you the facts. It don't change what you're saying. Don't change the facts. The Cowboys, they're their own worst enemy. Bad coaching, and that game been off. Rush hour. And you know why his game been off? Because you're not letting him play his game. Everybody knows Dak is a play-action quarterback. How can you do play-action and you're not running the ball? It's not that we can't run the ball. We're going to stop saying that. We refuse to run the ball. And so that means that Dak isn't playing his game. Turpin almost had a punt return for a TD. That's why they don't want the ball in his hand as it applies to special teams. They're doing everything they can do to nullify him. But the problem is, he's not a traditional wide receiver. And that's why we're starting to watch him drop a lot of passes. We're watching him drop. He's just not, that's not him. That's not him. I'm telling you guys, McCarthy is going to run Dowdle till his legs fall off. I'm telling them, Freddie. We're now going to see Mike McCarthy do what he should have been doing the whole time. How many times has the fake punt ever worked for us? Once, and that wasn't called by the OC. Stupid. It costs us the game. A running play takes off 40 seconds at least. T-O-P. That's going to be this team's focus. You slow the game down. You pick and choose where Rush is going to throw. And if you run this ball enough, and if you're successful enough with it, Cooper Rush is going to be able to make some throws. You watch what I tell you. Coop in 5 is one of the starter. Time to see if he grew or regressed. I don't think he ever grew. People don't understand how great that defense was. And we were winning games by the smallest of margins. We don't have that scoring defense no more. That was like, number 1 in scoring defense? They were like top 5 in turnovers. They were getting after the quarterback. We don't have none of that no more. And so, yep, that's what he did last time. You're going to have to keep this ball to where he has very few errors. Lance only knows how to run for his life. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. I don't want Cooper Rush standing back there like a dead duck. Jalen Carter going to eat him up. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Cowboys. But you watch what I tell y'all. Mike McCarthy is going to do something that he should have been doing all season. At least I'm going to give him this much. I think he's going to be forced. He's going to be forced to call smarter games. And so that's why this score wound up to be 27-21. And so I guess I'm going to save the Jerry Jones things for tomorrow. But I am going to finish with this part of the game plan. So we got still some more meat for tomorrow. Yeah, we got some more meat for tomorrow at noon. I got plenty coming up for us because I still got about 3 more subjects that I didn't cover in here that I want us to cover. But the Cowboys, of course, they lost 27-21. But I want to give some game balls. I know this is hard to believe, but I want to give some game balls. I'm giving Mike Zimmer a game ball. Mike Zimmer is not getting the credit that he deserves. Everybody keeps crying for Mike McCarthy. He don't have a run game. I'm not buying it. He won't run the ball. He's the reason they don't have a run game. Oh, Mike McCarthy don't have the receivers. No, I'm blaming him again because he's the one that refuses to be creative enough to scheme his men open like he did in the Pittsburgh game, the way he did in the first, the second, and the fourth quarter of the San Francisco game. He's the one who refuses to do it. He won't do with what he has. I'm blaming him. Mike Zimmer, salute. You've been doing the best you can with what you have. Very little. Injury ridden. At least Mike McCarthy has had Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. At least he's had that. You've been without for what now? 4 games? Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, missed Eric Kendricks, missing Nealon, missing Deron Bland, missing Kalen Carson. We could go down the line on Mike Zimmer. And Mike Zimmer keeps finding ways to squeeze blood from a turnip. I'm giving Mike Zimmer a game ball. I don't care what y'all say. Mike Zimmer has been doing his thing with very little. Next game ball is Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle, 12 carries, 75 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. Crazy work. Rico Dowdle, 5 receptions, 32 yards, 6.4 yards per catch, 1 TD. Crazy work. It's their problem they're not putting this man to work. It's their problem, not ours. This is Mike McCarthy's problem. Spider-Man, appreciate you with the super chat, my brother. Go USC game ball. We called for the hurry up offense to start the game. Yep, we did. We did, and they did it. And I think the game plan they had was good in spots. But the problem is penalties, messed up a lot of drives, poor decisions, fake punt, for example, messed up a drive. Cowboys should have won this game. It's absolutely pitiful that they didn't win it. It's pitiful. And that's why they're so upset. I know what they're saying. They should have won the game. And then this Eagles game, the 70s fan is hitting right on the head. Now we're running into the Eagles to where now we're getting into the part of the schedule where we should start winning. And that's when Dak Prescott get hurt. It's sad. It's sad, but the show must go on. The show must go on. They deserve the game ball. Yep, Rico Dowdle. My next game ball, the Marion Overshown. This kid right here, wait until next season. This kid gonna be a beast. 4 tackles, 3 assisted tackles, and I love his hustle. This man motor is crazy. I love it. Could you imagine with the way he's playing now? And Mike Zimmer had D-Law. Mike Zimmer had Micah Parsons. He had Nealon. Eric Kendricks healthy. He's got Deron Bland. Man. Cowboys be looking way different, y'all. They be looking way different. But I'm still going to give Zimmer credit. Still going to give him credit. He's been doing a lot with less. Haven't been doing a lot of complaining. He's been studying film, putting his head in the book, and he's been doing his thing. Next, I'm going to do something that I hadn't seen anybody do, but I'm going to call it the blame game. and I'm going to have this from here on out. There has to be somebody to blame. And who I am going to blame, Nisi said give Overshawn 2 game balls. Who I am going to blame is Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy continues to fail at preparing his team. False starts. Too many men on the field on offense. This is Mike McCarthy. What's going on with your practices, bro? Your walkthroughs, bro. What's going on? Faulty offensive game plan. I'm blaming Mike McCarthy. It's too inconsistent. He won't stick with the run. He won't stick with the run at all. Failed at complementary football. Team mental errors. Too many penalties. This is Mike McCarthy. Inconsistent creativity. He's not the same Mike McCarthy after the bye week last year. And I think some of this may be because he's infighting with Jerry Jones. Didn't exploit. Error there. Didn't exploit Atlanta's weaknesses. He didn't exploit it. They play off coverage. Dak should have been going down the field on Atlanta. Mike McCarthy had a game plan of these 3, 4, 5 yards throws. Didn't even try to test that Atlanta defense. Shame on you, Mike. And my biggest problem with Mike McCarthy is he cannot use what he has. Cam, keep on coming. I'll explain what I'm telling you. Jerry is to blame. I got a whole section on Jerry, but I'm not putting him right here. Jerry deserves his own section. But the problem I have with Mike McCarthy is the same problem I have with people in general. I understand there are always going to be circumstances that are going to be adverse to what we're trying to do. There are always going to be people. There'll always be circumstances. There'll always be things happening. But my problem is, Cam, you don't worry about what you can't control. You got to focus on what you can control. And the one thing that Mike McCarthy gets to control is the playbook. He gets to control the personnel on the field, even though we saw the fight with Zeke, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. But we saw that Mike won that battle. Mike gets to call the plays no matter what anyone says. He's not calling the plays. He's not. He's not using what he has. That's on him, no one else. No one else. I'll give you everything that Jerry is a problem. He is the problem. But Mike McCarthy is his own problem too. Look at it. Mike not hungry. He looks full. I get you. Nisi says, in any job, if you'll consistently mess up, you get reprimanded. How was this reprimanding the players with these penalties? Mike has got some control. He does. Whether he works with them, no matter what he does, he needs to be working with what he has. He gets to control the plays. That's the part I got a problem with. That's what I love about Mike Zimmer. He don't get to control the players, but he's controlling the plays. He's trying to pull what he can out of the players. He's looking at his strengths. He's looking at his weaknesses. He's trying to cover up his weaknesses. He's trying to highlight his strengths. He's trying to put this team, his players in position to win on defense. That's why he's been stopping these teams from running. Mike, I'm telling you, Zimmer has been doing what he's supposed to do. McCarthy won't run the ball. He won't. McCarthy, I'll give it to you, B-Lane. He is a part of the fall guy. But my problem with him, he keeps on falling. Stop falling. If you're going to fight Jerry Jones, fight him by winning. Fight him by calling great game plans. Fight him and show everybody who's looking and say, okay, even with Jerry Jones not giving him free agents, even with him not giving them players, even with him not doing nothing in the free agency game, the trade game, even with everything Jerry Jones is doing, look at what Mike McCarthy is doing. Can you give us that? He hasn't. I'm not giving him no slack. Nope, not giving it to him. Blame game. Trayvon Diggs continues to get torched. Trayvon Diggs is continuing to get torched. And I think one of the reasons why he's getting torched is not the injury. I don't want to hear nothing about coming off the injury. If you look at him on the tape, it's not his speed, it's his technique. His technique is terrible. And I'm going to come back on this tomorrow with Trayvon Diggs. His technique is terrible. And it's not Mike Zimmer that's causing his technique. He is doing some things that he should not be doing. He's not showing. He doesn't seem to be a studier of the game. Trayvon Diggs is making some mistakes that he should not be making. He is, and there is no doubt about it. And he should be a leader on this team, and he's not a leader. And I got problems with what he did with the podcast thing with Micah Parsons. And I'm going to show you something here. I got just a few more minutes, but I'm going to show you something here of why you got to get out of your feelings when you start talking about these things. You have to be able to go and start looking at things, looking at proof, so you're not in your feelings when somebody starts telling the truth. Because the only way you are going to improve is by people giving you good feedback and telling you the truth. Let me see here. I thought I had it up. If I don't, I'll save it for tomorrow too. But there's one particular play that everybody ought to be looking at as it applies to Trayvon Diggs, which is the epitome of what's been going on with Trayvon Diggs. Here it is right here. I want to show you this play. Emmanuel Acho pointed this out. And you can get mad, you can get glad all you want to, but this ain't Mike Zimmer. This isn't a Mike Zimmer problem. This is a Trayvon Diggs problem. I want y'all to watch this. Watch this play. Emmanuel Acho says it best. Cowboy fans can be furious with Trayvon Diggs, but Diggs has no one to blame but himself. This should be infuriating for the Cowboys fan base. Don't just watch football, learn football. This is what I'm trying to help people with on this channel. Because one thing I've learned about a lot of people, they don't know football. And this is why they complain every time the four-letter networks complain. Y'all don't understand. The stuff they do is designed for them to get clicks. There are very few shows that really do a lot of studying anymore. They got analytic people to do all of their work for them. And they just bring them a sheet of paper and they read off of it. They read over it they read over it in the morning. They read over it in between the breaks. And then they try to analyze football. No, Emmanuel Acho has done a great job here. I want you to see this. Look.
All right, it's 4th and 3. Trayvon Diggs is noticeably confused. Let's talk about what has to happen. Cowboys are in man-to-man defense. In man defense, you match like personnel, which means linebacker, you are on the running back bottom of the screen. It means safety, you are on the tight end. And cornerback, you find the wide receiver. Darnell Mooney's a wide receiver. Trayvon Diggs is the only confused player on the field right now, trying to figure out where in the world is the receiver, because the running back is out at number 1, linebacker's on him. The tight end is out at number 2, safety is on him. So Diggs, you got to figure it out like everybody else has figured it out. Okay, now that you figured it out, okay, now Diggs, you get lined up last, but at least you get lined up. That's Darnell Mooney. It's man-to-man, 4th and 3. Really, on 5 yards or less, we're playing man as a defense. Diggs, you know they're running a pick route. What you throwing your hands up for? What you complaining? Who you mad at? What you looking around for? I mean, look like 21. Go try to make the tackle. It's your man. It's nobody else's man. You still complaining. He chasing the ball. Like, who are you mad at? You can't be mad at anybody besides yourself. Literally. Everybody else is lined up. He lined up. He lined up. Lined up. Lined up. Everybody else lined up. This is your man. Red cleats. Who you mad at besides yourself? I just don't get it. This is the Cowboys this year. Touchdown Falcons. Look at it from this angle. That's Diggs. Diggs, it's man. He's in man. He's in man. You have Mooney, man to man. What? Go over the top, bro. Go over the top. Go over the top. Why would you run underneath? You have who you mad at? That's what I'm trying to figure. Who are you mad at? Who you waving your hand? Who you mad at? Who? Nobody to be mad at right now besides yourself.
Y'all see the problem? Is that Dak Prescott? See, Dak Prescott plays every position on the field. So everything's always about Dak Prescott. No, that ain't about Dak Prescott. That play right there, that's not about Mike Zimmer. That play right there, that's Trayvon Diggs not being a studier of the game. Emmanuel Acho, I got to give you applause. This is what I'm going to try to help people with on this channel. Stop flapping your gums. Stop being so emotional. Stop being such a fanatical fan that you don't look and dig into details into a game and games and seasons and see what's going on in the details. And rather than just blanketly calling people trash, stop it. Learn the game. And when you learn the game, you'll learn to say that the man isn't trash, but he's playing like trash. And Trayvon Diggs on Michael Parsons' podcast trying to take shots at Dak Prescott and leaving him out of the top 10, quote unquote. Will somebody tell me, is Trayvon Diggs top 10? Don't tell me he's coming off an injury. Is he top 10? Because that play right there isn't about an injury. My son played cornerback at a high level in high school. The moment he saw this play live on TV, you know what he said? That's Trayvon Diggs' fault. Because anyone knows that if that's you, you don't run under those guys. You run over the top and you get the guy running out of the top. My son said that. Could have played college football, didn't. But he still understands the game. That's Trayvon Diggs. We're going to pick up here tomorrow because I got a whole lot more for us on this subject of the Dallas Cowboys. Because y'all already know, come Wednesday, we getting over the hump day. We're no longer talking about the Atlanta Falcons. Come Thursday, we are on to the Eagles. So we got a lot to cover, so we're going to be back again. We'll be back again twice tomorrow. I'm not going to I'm not going to continue at this pace. It's pretty tough. But for right now, just to show people what we're doing, we're going to be doing 2 shows per day, probably for the next month or 2. And so I'll be back tomorrow around 11 or 11:30 or noon. I'll let you know. Y'all make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll know when I post the next video. But if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.